You have to push past that conscious level. You have to get past thinking. You've got to shut your eyes and see if you make it to the other side. The words of Lando Norris, the Formula One world champion, to welcome you to a venue that moves a driver like nowhere else. Good afternoon and welcome to the...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the Monaco Grand Prix. Awesome. The glitz, the glamour. However, there's a couple of talking points. We're going to go into that more on my podcast that'll be out tomorrow. But we'll be live streaming all today. But that little shit show that we saw yesterday with all those cars going around and around and around and around, just burning up engine wear, burning up tire wear, suspension wear, everything. It was mental. I mean, if I did that back in my day, I would have been fucking fired. Like, fired instantly. The engineer and the team owner would have got rid of me instantly. And now this is happening in Formula 1? Why are you staying out for 10, 15 laps? Lads, even in qualifying 3, there was, 2 minutes to go, and yet they all lined up like fucking sheep going out onto the track. Did they actually think they were going to get a better lap? Most of them? I mean, seriously. Now, listen, Verstappen did great, so it can pay off every now and then, but it's too risky. Like, it's too risky. Now, Charles Leclerc, okay, he did go out about 5 minutes beforehand, but no one got better laps. Like, it's like, if you're going out at the last minute, you've got to make sure you get a fucking gap, man. Now, Verstappen did. But it's very risky. Very risky. And, 2 minutes to go? You think you're going to make your a lap better? Anyway. Lads, let's see what happens in this shit show today.
George Russell searching for pace. And for the second year in a row, Isaac Hadjar is P5. Then comes Charles Leclerc, who came all in. He was desperate to try and find his way to pole. He hit the barriers. He starts fourth. Lewis Hamilton is in contention from third. And what a battle between these two. Max Verstappen in second, 400ths of a second back from Kimi Antonelli on pole for the first time.
So, lads, let's give you the update here, okay? So, as we stand, Kimi Antonelli is on pole in first. Max Verstappen in second, Hamilton in third, Leclerc in fourth, Hadjar in fifth, Russell in sixth, Piastri in seventh, Norris in eighth, Gasly ninth, Lawson 10, Albon 11th, Sainz in 12th, Hülkenberg 13th, Colapinto 14th, Lindblad is 15th, Bortoleto is going to start in the pit lane, even though he's meant to be 16th, Ocon in 17th, Perez 18th, Bearman 19th, Bottas 20th, Alonso 21st, and Stroll in 22nd. So this is going to be it's hard to know what's going to happen here, lads, but whoever gets into that first corner is pretty much, I gotta say it, pretty much going to win the race. Let's cut the horse shit here, let's cut the horse shit. Unless they can get jumping in the pit lane. And then again, you've got your safety cars coming out, you've got crashes coming out, yellow, right? So you could have a virtual safety car, you could have the safety car itself, you could have your pit stop, and all of a sudden you're in the lead, right? You go into the pit lane, all of a sudden, just when you come out, you've got the yellow flag, or God knows what's going to happen, and all of a sudden you're fucked. And all of a sudden then the guy goes in 10 laps later, who was in second, and all of a sudden then he jumps ahead of you because you effed it all up. So, we shall see, lads.
Perfectly how complicated this start-finish straight is. It's not straight.
And that will mean that Lewis Hamilton in third is sort of disproportionately closer to Max Verstappen as well, to try and sneak into the fight in a very fast-starting Ferrari.
Green light on the gantry, the formation lap in progress as the field leave the grid and try to get some tyre temperature in what is, for the top 15 on the grid, medium Pirelli tyres. We're expecting a one-stop to go from the medium to the soft today, and that will be the direction of travel. The shortest lap of the year, degradation not really a concern. Lewis Hamilton next to Charles Leclerc on the order, on the grid in front of us. Can he work with his teammate? Will they work together? Remember, that Ferrari started the year really, really strong. You've got the medium to the hard, you've got the soft to the hard as the one-stop strategy. You've got a high thread, of course, with the walls of the safety car being deployed, but ultimately, the one thing that Jolene said to me earlier this week, and it seems so obvious, but I want to reiterate to everyone, it's so easy to crash around here.
Well, people kept asking what is the big challenge? I know, I get it, Monaco's great, but why is it so hard? And, let's just break it down. It's so narrow. You're driving Formula One cars. These things are incredibly quick.
Now, when one of the commentators saying that the drivers could potentially work together, no. This isn't like a championship up for grabs here where, you've got your teammate battling for the championship, and if you can help him, well then, yeah, you could pull over and let him through because he gets more points. But right now, we're fifth round? We're early in the season. They ain't going to be helping each other. They're not going to be trying to do each other, but they ain't going to be helping each other.
The 19th and final corner, named for the founder of the race, Anthony Nogues. And we find ourselves lining up on the grid. Our commentary box faces the pit lane. A pit lane that is rife with nerves at this stage. The grandstands are full, so is the harbour side. So is every balcony that points onto this circuit. A teenager on pole for the Monaco Grand Prix. He is the championship leader by 43 points.
And just to put in perspective, he's on pole, sitting there, waiting. The Aston Martins are still in front of our commentary box before entering the Rascasse corner. It's going to be a long wait for him. That seems longer than would normally be the case.
2 more cars on the grid as well, so it is going to be a little bit longer. You can see him pull up on pole position, check the mirrors, think, where is everyone else behind me? Come on, guys, collect your thoughts, get your heart rate down, and then start going through your procedures.
Did you used to take a couple of deep breaths before?
It's conscious thought, isn't it? It's conscious, like, right, into concentration mode.
It's like Alex here in the commentary. I've just seen him do 3 deep breaths. Therefore, we're ready.
Because this is one of the great occasions in all of sport, and the start is defining. Here come the lights for the Monaco Grand Prix. Formula One goes racing on the street of Monte Carlo. Verstappen barely moves from the front row, and he has seen his Monaco victory chances disappear. It's Antonelli, then it's Hamilton, then it's Leclerc, Hadjar and Russell. One of our contenders for the win did not get off the line, and it's heartbreak for Max Verstappen as Kimi Antonelli leads from Lewis Hamilton, then it's Charles Leclerc, Hadjar Russell and Piastri.
Yeah, straight away we saw the yellow lights flashing on his mirrors. That car went into some kind of reset mode, so it's all over for him. Will we get that car pushed away? As we see our front runners, it was a clean start thereafter.
Gasly has got ahead of Lando Norris as well. That is a change. Max Verstappen did get going.
Well, he's not going quickly though, is he? He's looking like he's coaxing that one through. So an anti-stall that he couldn't recover from or something. It's a wonder no one hit him. The circuit is so narrow, you don't get eyesight from a couple of rows further back, let alone about 18 places further back, but they're all still in it, and Antonelli leads. But he's got a probably bigger problem on his hands now, because the Ferraris in second and third are going to open up a bigger strategy. Look, especially when Norris has radioed that one in, and we've got another one. It's the curved start, isn't it? So everyone on the outside is just trying to straighten off. Otherwise, you basically, if you start squarely in your box, you move about 6 meters and you take off your left front into the wall. So you have to put a bit of angle on it around here.
Yeah, it's almost like they need to put the lines relative to where the start line is, start-finish line, so rather than actually relative to the box in front.
Yeah, I've never known it to be such an issue with 2 drivers now, experienced heads as well. Sergio Perez under investigation as well.
Thankfully, I never found myself, other than that 2001, never found myself so far down the grid for a start.
It was a long afternoon for you in 2001, DC. But either side of it, glory days.
Yes, indeed. I mean, one of the highest of highs in a Grand Prix driver's career, I'm sure, with one of the least expensive trophies on the calendar. It's supplied by a local trophy maker here in Monaco, who also provide trophies to the Bulls competition and the kids' egg and spoon race.
I love it.
Name and shame, dig them out.
I think I did recently on a podcast, but anyway, it's still greatly prized.
What it symbolises would mean a lot to Kimi Antonelli, who's built a 4.3 second lead, stabilised for a moment. Middle sector last time around, Lewis Hamilton was slightly quicker. Antonelli is responding on this lap as we go on board with the most likely candidate to provide us with an overtake into the Nouvelle Chicane. Lando Norris, winner of the Grand Prix here last year, on pole position here last year. His first Monaco win on the way to his World Championship, and he's going to be able to study the back of that Alpine for a while. He's going to have to get inventive to clear Gasly.
I quite like the inventive pass around here. I know everyone goes for that new.
Lads, apologies about that. Shut off. Oh, well, anyway, we're back on track. My sincere apologies. Anyway, back to the action. But Verstappen, what a nightmare.
Had a horrible exit through Raskas or something. Then you go up the hill and you've got no chance. The hairpin's very difficult unless someone's really slow through Casino. The Raskas move is my personal favourite. Charles Leclerc did it a few years ago. I think it was his first year with Ferrari. I think he passed 2 cars, tried for a third, binned it. That's the risk. Every time you go for it, you know you're taking a huge risk. Does Norris want to do that this early on? The big thing that's going to be in his mind is taking a grid penalty to Spain next week, and that's going to be the biggest deterrent. The other one is you can do a little.
Rogers outside his grid box.
Last year, Gabriel Bortoleto making contact with Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli's second season, really miles ahead of his second season. It's been terrific. It has been mesmeric, and it has been against expectations so far. Norris into Raskas, getting Palmer excited in the commentary box. No way.
Where is he faster?
He's faster N33 and then 34.
Grand Prix in a row. He is 5.5 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc is 3.5 seconds. Watch if that grows any larger. If it becomes exaggerated, it could mean team strategy games for Ferrari. And Isaac Hadjar is currently on for his best finish with the Red Bull team. This is Grand Prix number 6 for him.
So Antonelli's pace out front is so strong that he could pit now and come out in front of Gasly. That's the window he's given himself. 20 seconds, leaving the circuit, pit stop, back out onto track. And you've got Piastri at 19.6 seconds behind Gasly, 24.
Sergio Perez has been given a drive-through penalty for being out of position at the start.
This was an extraordinary penalty.
That's a lot for whatever the distance he must have been out of position.
Has he gone up to the top 10 or something?
Sometimes that's penalised with a time penalty.
So, lads, let's just give you a quick update. After, 9 laps? Jeez, 10 laps. Kimi Antonelli has taken the lead. Hamilton in second, Leclerc third, Hadjar fourth, Russell in fifth, Piastri in sixth, Gasly in seventh, Norris in eighth, and 1 second, guys. Jesus. Lawson in 9th and Albon in 10th. Now Verstappen is out. He's got a problem with his car. He was out in the first lap, so he just had major problems, and he just trucked on for like about a lap, and that was it. He was outdone. So unfortunately for Max Verstappen fans, but there is a chance that Ferrari could take the lead. Now it's a small opportunity, but it's a chance, okay? There's 5.5 seconds difference between Antonelli in first and Hamilton in second. Now, here's the thing. If Hamilton can position himself in the pit stop, at the same time, if he gets a little lucky, he could take the lead. And it can swing both ways here. I mean, you just don't know what can happen. It ain't impossible of winning from second in Monaco. It's tough, but it ain't impossible.
A bit of a margin now. Just starts taking it a bit steady, because it's not as if it's like, bringing the tyres in, and I don't think in the medium he would have seen them go off that quickly.
No, you sometimes risk a bit of graining if you push too hard too soon, and you're really going flat out before they're up into a working window. So maybe Hamilton, that was why he was pretty tepid on those early laps, just bringing them in gently, knowing that if Antonelli does start to grain up his tyres, he'll lose grip and they really won't clear up. And Lewis just needs to be close for that pit stop window. So he's allowed 5 seconds, which has come straight down to 4, presumably because Antonelli's he's at lap Bortoletto already.
And this is going to be Sergio Perez lining up, ready to take his grid spot. And congratulations, Jodian. You get to come back for Spain.
Spot on. He can see things that we can't even see until we see them.
I don't think Checo had even clocked it. Suddenly looking at the back of a different car, but okay,
It was at that moment he realised.
Lap 12 of 78. Lewis Hamilton's been on the radio asking where he needs to find improvements relative to the man who...
Right, lads, well, I gotta get my fucking act together, don't I? This is a disaster of a live. It's an absolute disaster. The whole signal cut down. I'll get my shit sorted, alright? Sorry about this, lads.
Including his breakthrough victory in Formula One.
On that note, fuck it, might as well go for a cigarette.
He became a winner in the highest rung of motorsport.
So he lost, about a second getting through that traffic. Hamilton, the downside, I guess, of being the first one to come across the traffic is that you sort of wake them up to where they are in their race. Hamilton looks like he's only lost about half a second getting through that same traffic.
More coming up as well for Antonelli. I mean, it's going to be pretty relentless now for them. We're lap 12 out of 78, and they're already clearing back markers. So it's going to be a day of that, clearing them. Charles Leclerc passed another one, and we've got another one for Charles Leclerc just ahead. There's that Valtteri Bottas he's going to pass. I'll tell you what, this is a miserable time to be a back marker as well. Imagine you're already spending each lap now. You've got the whole field sweeping past you. Just every time you're trying to push forward and you're having to slow down all the time. That's my harrowing Monaco tales.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we had 7 of the starters have headed to the pits already, and we've got, well, Perez has been twice, of course, because of that drive-through. We're not expecting the others to be coming in for another 20-odd laps or so.
No, the top 15 on the grid, we've lost one of them. Max Verstappen is the sole retirement of the Monaco Grand Prix so far. Everyone else started on the medium tyres. Hulkenberg comes in now. German driver who has yet to finish in the points so far this season with a stop of 2.6 seconds. And he finds himself back onto the 2-mile circuit.
So this is going to be already now the domino effect of pit stops. There were that run of cars that pitted earlier on. There's one of them, Esteban Ocon, and that's who Nico Hulkenberg was covering off. But now everyone that was just ahead of Hulkenberg is going to be thinking about covering off the Audi driver as well. So that's going to be Sainz and Albon trying to protect what will be a point at the moment for Alex Albon. Long way to go, but they do not want to just lose some track position to Hulkenberg, who's been really quick so far this weekend, so they'll have to cover him off and hold straight out into the traffic as well, so that's not going to work out well for him.
Kimi Antonelli has an advantage of 4 seconds, 3.9 seconds. He's in his second Monaco Grand Prix start today. Lewis Hamilton made his debut at this race back in 2007. He was on the podium that year, second to Fernando Alonso, and that race began quite the battle between the two drivers, both Alonso, who was a champion at the time, and Hamilton, who added 7 titles starting in 2008.
Yeah, you see Russell now starting to close that gap down to the back of Hadjar, who's got some lap traffic to work his way through, and you're always looking and hoping for that opportunity that someone gets slightly out of position, and then you're able to, well, that lap car you see getting well out of the way, so no issues there.
A little nudge of brake balance forwards as well to make sure he doesn't have the rear lock over the bump for the Nouvelle chicane. That's one of the many challenges around this circuit. So the drivers still trying to fine-tune their settings, even with all the demands of cornering around here.
Somehow in my mind, okay, maybe it's because we've lost Max, but even the Ferraris, somehow I thought they would have been applying a bit more pressure earlier. We don't have the advantage of as many long runs on a circuit like this to really get an indication of race pace, and with circuit evolution anyway, largely speaking, it only really matters on this day at this moment. But Antonelli seems to have it well under control.
Stay patient, DC. Stay patient.
All right, lads. Sorry about the whole live coverage. Back to this shit show. Jesus Christ. Let's see you. You probably never listen to me again, I'd say. My God.
Attack on this side if the grids are very hot.
Copy.
Well, that's not the communication I thought we were going to hear there for Lewis, having had a fairly steady run, picking up the pace, saying the deg is there. So I wonder what Antonelli's finding out front then, because Hamilton's obviously feeling the car sliding around a little bit more, but he is starting to get back to the race lead.
It's interesting listening to George Russell after qualifying yesterday saying that Antonelli's driving style really suiting this year's Mercedes, but crucially because what it allows him to do with the
Lads, I'm sorry. This is not professional. This is pathetic. This is amateur hour here. I'm so sorry for this live stream. I'm gonna do better the next time. Believe me, it's Spain. This will be all fucking sorted. I'm sorry about this. But listen, if you are listening, I don't even have comments up. I can't even get it up for some reason. Sounded a bit kind of dirty, but Antonelli's in the lead. He's got what does he have? Let's have a look. So Antonelli in the lead. 3.2 second advantage over Hamilton. Leclerc in third, Hadjar in fourth, Russell in fifth, Piastri sixth, Gasly seventh, eighth in Norris, Lawson ninth, Albon in 10th. Max Verstappen is out. He had a mechanical problem at the start. Disaster. So hopefully Hamilton, he's got a chance. Hamilton and, Leclerc's only just under 2 seconds behind Hamilton. So the two lads here, the two Ferrari boys, they've got a chance of actually getting a crack here if they make their pit stop right, and if a safety car comes out when Antonelli comes in. It's a long shot, but not really a long shot, if you know what I mean. But let's see.
The big rear tyres, and at the hairpin, I suspect he's looking at the actual shape, and there you can see that grain.
Hadjar has front left grain, and he won't be able to look longer, I don't think.
Just make sure you've got good tyres when he does get out of the way.
Copy everything, tyres over peak.
Yeah.
Now, there's one thing, guys, I'm gonna go through my podcast for tomorrow, but I'll go through it in much more detail with the mechanical setup and the aero setup of the car. However, Julian Palmer yesterday was saying about the wheelbase on the car, right? He was saying, well, the shorter the wheelbase, the more pointier, aggressive steering. Right? That's what he was trying to say. No, it's not. Okay? The shorter wheelbase technically gives you more grip. But he was talking about oversteer, so like when you go into a corner and the car seems to almost flip over, it feels like it's going to spin, okay? That's the oversteer. Now, understeer is when you turn into a corner and it feels like it's just going straight on. So you're always battling with either understeer, oversteer. Now, it depends on the driver's style. A lot of drivers like oversteer, understeer. I always liked a bit of oversteer, touch of it. But again, doesn't mean it's a quicker way, doesn't mean it's a slower way, just way your driving style is now. But the shorter wheelbase does not mean that you have oversteer automatically. Not at all. You either get oversteer, you can have a longer wheelbase, and you can have oversteer or understeer. It depends on the mechanical setup. That comes down to the shocks, the springs, the bump, the rebound, the camber, the caster. So there's a lot of factors playing into that.
So yeah, Russell, does he pressurise or does he wait and hope that Hadjar will pop into the pits and get some fresh tyres soon enough, and then he'll have tyres to go long and overcut him?
Big moment ahead for George Russell. Needs to try and clear Hadjar, minimise the damage in the World Championship. At the moment, it's going over 2 whole Grand Prix distances between first and second.
And what about good old George Russell, huh? I mean, I'm not a fan of George Russell, but my heart goes out to this guy here. I mean, he's not getting the attention from Mercedes. They're all invested in Kimi Antonelli. I'm sorry, lads, and Antonelli is a brilliant driver. He's brilliant, but for any of you Russell diehard fans out there, he's not so good that all of a sudden he's kicking ass, right? He's got a great car behind him. He's got the great team behind him. He's a brilliant driver. But Russell's just not getting the equipment that he should be getting. I mean, Russell was the number one guy for the last couple of years. He was even outdoing Hamilton. I'm not even a Hamilton fan, but I'm even standing up for Lewis Hamilton there, you know? Now, at the end of the day, you do need the team behind you, and for a lot of good drivers, a lot of talented drivers, molding the team around you is incredibly important. And I don't know what is invested to have Kimi Antonelli now. Maybe it's the whole junior driver program thing, because it's kind of like almost fashion these days, where you bring in the young fella, But I don't know. It's very strange, because Russell's been at the team for a long time, man.
We're investigating.
Yeah, something wrong. First gear, man, it's not usable.
It's just a quiet afternoon around the streets of Monaco for Hadjar so far. Graining and issues, and this is looking like best opportunity for George Russell. Will we see an unusual pass down into Sandoval? Will we see the Palmer favourite into Raskas?
Well, he's got to weigh up the risk here with a car that's not running how it should. Can he pinch by? It was wide for Hadjar, and he's losing so much time here.
Well, if first gear is not usable for him, then there could well be an opportunity into the Nouvelle chicane, because all of that sequence before, you've got the really tight hairpins, and that's where you need first gear. Keep the turbo spooled up to keep revs up to find an exit. So that'll be George's opportunity. I'm sure Martin Sudley will be on the radio to George Russell, this man heading through Massenet, telling him Isaac Hadjar is flustered, and he's maybe nursing an issue that will give the Mercedes man needs to maximise his point score today an opportunity to pass. But Hadjar's decent enough in that first sector.
Mode 6. Mode 6. We're looking into it, mate. We're looking into it.
Also, the power is down. The power.
He's already had 2 retirements this year. One wasn't his fault, one was. He crashed into the wall in Miami. He had a power unit failure at the opening Grand Prix of the year where he qualified P3 on the grid. So an ailing Red Bull up against Russell.
Yeah, they look faster.
I think I'll come to you as soon as I have a solution. I'll come to you.
Yeah, I guess time perception of the driver is he's pretty busy.
Mode 6. Mode 6. We're looking into it, mate. We're looking into it.
Also, the power is down. The power.
So there will be a lot of very bright brains trying to figure out what the driver can do.
So this is working out well for Russell. 4th place from a 6th place start in Monaco would be, I would think, the best he could have hoped for when he woke up this morning.
Something is going to explode. The engine is not healthy right now.
Okay, we can see the issue. We're working on a fix. We can see it. We're working on a fix.
So Hadjar fearful of a 3rd retirement of the season.
Oh, lads, you see, this was actually going on about last week. It was just so weird that George Russell retired at the Canadian Grand Prix when Antonelli didn't, because a lot of the time, if you've got a faulty component in your car, it's from the manufacturer, or the factory, right? So if Russell's going to have a faulty part, Antonelli would have a faulty part. So that's why I don't get it. Okay, now it can happen. It can definitely happen where just something magically goes wrong. It's just weird though. If it was Antonelli, and if Antonelli retired at Canada and Russell didn't, I'd still be questioning it. I'm like, hang on, what's going on here? Because it should have a problem. Now, Red Bull have had a problem with Verstappen. Will Hadjar is having problems, and this is what I'm talking about. Something is going wrong. They had a faulty factory, which, look, fuck, we're all human. Mistakes can happen, or something's just not strong enough to keep you going. So let's see now. Hopefully Hadjar can keep going, and hopefully I'm wrong here for Hadjar,
Teammate Ferrari on for a double podium, but at the moment on the medium tyre on lap 22 of 78, no answer to the race leader, who is extending as it stands his lead in the World Championship. If you're one of our newer viewers, we have never had a teenage champion in the entire history of Formula One.
Okay, lads, welcome back. So if you've just joined on, I'll give you the, at the moment, in Monaco Grand Prix, 23 laps gone out of 78. At the moment, Antonelli is 6.6 seconds ahead of Hamilton in 2nd. Charles Leclerc, his teammate, in 3rd. Hadjar is having a little bit of an issues, but hopefully he can keep going in 4th. Russell having a nightmare of a weekend in 5th. Piastri in 6th. Gasly in 7th. Norris, the world champion, in 8th. Lawson in 9th and Albon in 10th. Max Verstappen and Bottas are out. Max Verstappen had a technical problem on the first lap. He's gone, so it's not looking great for him this year. Mercedes are looking like they're absolutely capitalizing on these new 2026 regulations, and Jesus, man, it's looking good for them. It really is.
Gasly and Norris, and Hadjar finds a fix and can clear it up again. Interesting little one for you. Hulkenberg's made his pit stop. If everyone pitted, he'd come out with Gasly right now. So no one's covered him off. He's caught the back of Lindblad. And the reason I think for that is Williams, 10th and 11th, at some point, if it stays like that, they will drop Sainz back and hold Hulkenberg back. Put a dam in the water, effectively.
Yeah, points are incredibly important to the team as they continue to recover from a difficult start to the year. But right now, Albon keeping himself very much in sight of Lawson. He's only a couple of seconds behind. So as they concentrate on their battle, well spotted in Hulkenberg, he's going to appear into the top 10 later in this Grand Prix.
Probably. Lindblad will do the same before he even gets towards a Williams pit window, because Racing Bull's incentivised to keep Liam Lawson as high as possible as well.
Nouvelle chicane. Charles Leclerc running 3rd in this Grand Prix and going deep and over the white lines.
Yeah, didn't want to lock it up, didn't fancy risking running over the top of the curb and damaging the floor. You get away with that 1 or 2 times and gain a marginal amount of time before you're given the warning for well, just gaining an advantage, basically.
And then it gets a bit squeaky, doesn't it? Because you've got a long way to go, and that is a difficult braking zone. And it's your overtaking zone as well. So you want to have a bit of margin in there. But at the moment, this I would describe as tepid from Ferrari. 8.5 seconds. Hamilton drifting away once again from Antonelli. No sign of any pace. And Leclerc just drifting away from Hamilton. No threat from Hadjar. On for 2nd and 3rd. Thank you very much, but not at the moment up for 1st position. Antonelli driving very well.
The 2 miles of Monaco, notoriously difficult for overtaking. You need such speed to get past the car in front. We're talking seconds a lap. Other tracks we go to, we're dealing in tenths, but it's seconds a lap around here. And we're seeing it. Norris clearly quicker than Pierre Gasly. Gasly 7.4 seconds back from Oscar Piastri. And the Red Bull of Isaac Hadjar, who is superb around this circuit. He's proved that in the Junior Formula and last year with Racing Bulls, where he was excellent on his way to a 6th place finish on Formula 1 debut in Monaco. But he's got an ailing car in his 2nd visit to the Principality in Formula 1, and there's nothing that Russell can get by to do to try and pressure the car in front. He's stuck right now. And what has been an upending of what the heavy championship favourite has had to come his way this year in Formula 1. And he finds himself just looking ahead at Red Bull. He would have been wanting to challenge for the win this weekend. He hasn't won since the opening Grand Prix of the year.
I think in the 14 years that I raced around here, as Russell, well, Hadjar has to go defensive again, and eventually Russell's going to have figured out, as he's almost touching his rear wing on the rear of his car, defends it into to back. I don't think I overtook anyone other than off the start line in any of the races here. Julian, did you pull any mega moves?
Not in Formula 1.
2?
I did. You know what I did? I did the Palmer Raskas move once upon a time.
I should have known.
I also did one into Saint-Devote for the lead of the race in my...
The lesser spotted pass into Saint-Devote.
I was passing Mitch Evans, who was on absolutely shod tyres, and I didn't pass was it look a gift horse in the mouth?
Yeah, we've definitely reached that point at lap 26 of 78. It's Guess the Phrase. It's Jolyon Palmer, David Coulthard. I'm Alex Shakes. Left-hand side of your screen is Charles Leclerc, who hasn't got It is look a gift horse in the mouth. He's looking it up, everyone. We've got to that stage of the broadcast.
That's all right. I knew you'd confirm.
Poor old George Russell can't find his way by at the moment. He wants to try and close down the gap out front. Hadjar, you got a feel for him. Brilliant in qualifying around here once again. Red Bull having an unreliable day. If you're just joining us, Max Verstappen did not get off the start line. He's the retirement that we started with in the Monaco Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas has joined him.
And this is the moment where DC will ask where the etymology of looking a gift horse in the mouth is.
I'll be asking what etymology means. I think I can kind of figure it out, but it's the first time that word has entered my ears. I thank you. It's a beautiful word.
10 seconds for the race lead. Well, Hamilton.
What are Coulthard and Julian Palmer talking about? They're talking out of their ass, man.
First ever win in Monaco. And he's been cautious with the traffic. Hamilton got that gap down to 2.8 when they were cycling through cars. Well, that's not happened for a while now. Antonelli's just got past Esteban Ocon, who goes a lap down. And since then, Antonelli's just extended the gap. He's now 10 seconds out front.
Yeah, this is, well, it's incredible. It is super impressive. What he was able to do yesterday, what he is doing.
Yeah, no power outside of 8. Out of 8.
Yeah, copy that, mate. We can see the issue. We're trying to work on a fix. You're doing a great job. Engine 3, position 11. Engine 3, position 11.
Thinking about saving the tyres, he's just driving around at a high pace all the time. I think within a second of his fastest lap of the race so far, and every lap, I mean, second on Hamilton on the last lap, as Hadjar might end up in trouble here. Crosses the runoff area, but has managed to get on the gas quick enough to deter Russell from throwing in what would be a bit of a mad move into the back.
Yeah, Russell, of course, will be on the radio crying foul for that one. So, as I said earlier, you'll get away with it once, you'll get a warning if you do it twice, and you get a penalty if you do it a third time. So, it's one of those things, isn't it, Julian? You've got the choice.
That's a last in advantage. So he can't keep it on the track. He needs to get the position up. Copy. He's just out braking himself. So he's got no tyres. That's a last in advantage. So he can't keep it on the track. He needs to get the position up. Copy. He's just out braking himself. So he's got no tyres.
Franco Colapinto's been P7, been P6 in recent races. Gasly giving himself the foundation for this result with a good qualifying yesterday when he was best of the rest.
Hamilton got on the radio a while ago and said tyres are gone, rears are overheating. He was 3 seconds back. He's now 12 seconds back. Leclerc is matching.
Okay, lads, so let's look at the pit stops here right now. Hamilton still has a chance. Leclerc still has a chance. Now, what we do see, Antonelli in the lead, Hamilton in second, Leclerc, oh, Hamilton's in the pits, so let's see now. He's coming in early, which is a good sign. Just, it's better to come in earlier than later. And they're on the medium tyres. The top 13 of them. In fact, 1 to 13 positions, they're all on medium. Hamilton's coming out on hard now. Now, that's interesting. Okay, he's got 30, just under 30 laps with the medium. Yeah, he'd have to go on the hards, really. So, obviously, Hamilton's just going for the one pit stop, and that's it. Hopefully, and he's going to try and obviously outdo Antonelli to try and pip him on the pit stop. Now, what Ferrari are praying for here is that Antonelli comes in, and when he comes in, then a virtual safety car, a safety car itself, something to just fuck everything up for him. So that's exactly what Hamilton needs now here. Even Leclerc's got a bit of a chance, even though he's 15 seconds behind Antonelli. It's not looking great for him. But, I mean, even Hamilton's still in third when he came out of the pits, and yet he's 32 seconds behind from Hadjar, and Hadjar's got some problems, and he's in fourth. So Hamilton's got a bit lucky here, and sometimes the luck can swing in your favour.
Smidgen, but he was right there with Kimi Antonelli, but he was taking risks, wasn't he? And that's what comes when you take the risks.
Yeah, that'll be frustrating, because Antonelli was on pole over Verstappen by, I'll use your word, a smidgen.
0.04 of a second, it was settled for Grand Prix pole between Antonelli and Verstappen. Verstappen did not get off the line. He's retired.
What do you think about Plan B?
Repeat what was Plan B, now I forgot.
Take iron, picking out at the stop.
More pertinently, for the points, he was struggling in the garage, but they got him to the grid and they were making late changes, but he's running in 9th. It would be a good result for him if he's able to finish there. The driver that's in the top 10 of the World Championship, he's got 4-point scoring finishes going into today.
So Russell's life might be about to get a little harder. Piastri's closing.
Up to you. Yeah.
tail with Isaac Hadjar.
Are you kidding me? Carlos Sainz can't remember Plan B. He doesn't remember Plan B. You talk about this in the race, and just in case things go fucked up, and they discuss Plan A. This is what we're going to try and do. Now, look, guys, if everything gets up to shit, we're going to go Plan B. You probably have a Plan C and D as well. Probably 3, right? Plan A, B, and C. That would probably be the average for a racing team to have, right? You might even have a sort of a backup Plan D. But he doesn't even remember Plan fucking B.
Seconds pit loss time.
6 slower than Charles Leclerc on the last lap. So there you go. That is, if Leclerc pits now, he will come out behind, but it is close. And the more laps that Charles can do quicker than Lewis at this stage, that is going to get very, very close between the two Ferraris. Hamilton has to pick up his pace, and he's just done his personal best first sector.
Here's Nico Hülkenberg missing the chicane.
Sorry, guys. On our weekend.
Yeah, sorry, Ollie. We'll go again next week.
Yeah.
Barrier for the man running in 10th.
Yeah, that's a little wake-up, isn't it? You know, that's fine when you're exploiting that quality. And that barrier there at the end of swimming pool we know is flexible, but you don't want to be risking that right now, especially when running in the points.
I gave it a kick when I was filming on track on Thursday to see how flexible is it. Not as flexible as my foot.
No, absolutely. I could have told you that. It's a metal Armco barrier. It's just up against a very heavy car.
A lot of misfiring this lap. Just noise.
Okay, we're checking.
So cool. You'd think he was sitting in the pit lane, not rattling around a Grand Prix track.
Lando Norris continuing on, less than a second away. This is the barrier we were talking about, left-hand side of your picture. In comes George Russell, no longer tucked underneath Hadjar and the Red Bull that's got the issue. They need a clean stop, and that is what his race required. 2.4 seconds and hard tyres on the car.
He's going to fall behind Norris. So he's got that gap that he had earlier on. Finally, Mercedes pull the trigger and use it, but he's behind Lando Norris, which will give McLaren a strategic option at some point to play games and back into Russell to get Piastri ahead of him. Hadjar now, will he try and cover off? Presumably. Has he got anything left? It's a one-shot wonder here for George. Use everything on the outlap and go for the undercut.
Yeah, he's got a healthy gap until he gets up to the back of where Norris is. So the Mercedes strategists have accepted that, knowing that and hoping that by the time he gets anywhere close to Norris, that Norris will have pitted by that point.
So lads, if you have just joined, welcome the Monaco Grand Prix. At the moment we are 33 laps in out of 78. And at the moment Antonelli is in the lead by 18.1 seconds. Leclerc in second. Hamilton has just pitted. He's now on hards. Looks like he's going the whole way to the end of the race now, which is a good strategic move. He's in third. Piastri in fourth. Hadjar in fifth. He's just come into the pit as well. Gasly sixth. Norris, the world champ, in seventh. Russell in eighth. Lawson in ninth. And Albon in 10. So it's going to be very interesting now. They've done the 33 laps now. Hamilton had to come in early to try and pip Antonelli now in the pit or the pit stops. Interesting to see when Antonelli's going to come in, because he's done 33 laps already. Now it's a short lap, fair enough, but he's probably wanting to be coming in now quite soon. So I'll keep you posted.
Off Charles Leclerc in that qualifying battle.
It's a 5-second time penalty for Lewis Hamilton. It's for speeding in the pit lane, and it changes the battle of a second.
Yes, we do.
Confirmation that Lewis Hamilton has a 5-second penalty, and he's made his scheduled stop. He's got time to build. It's not going to affect things, but it gives the opportunity for Charles Leclerc.
Leclerc now in a golden position to be second in this race. Hamilton will take 5 seconds at the end of the Grand Prix. We wouldn't expect him to pit again unless there was a safety car.
And the update, guys, as you probably have just heard, or if you've just joined in, Hamilton gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. How the hell did he get the 5-second penalty? They've got the magic button. You just press the button and it keeps the car at the limit. So you don't have to worry about speeding or, keeping an eye on yourself. How do they do that?
Drop back into Russell, slow up Russell and Hadjar, and Piastri will just reap the rewards and take that 4th place. So long as George Russell cannot clear Lando Norris driving 2 seconds a lap slower, they've given Oscar a chance to just overcut now into 4th place. It was the risk that Mercedes took by pitting Russell to jump Hadjar.
Yeah, it hasn't been plain sailing for Mercedes in the McLaren, and of course in the back of George Russell's car in Canada as well. So what are we seeing here from Lando Norris? Yeah, doesn't even attempt to take the chicane.
He's busy troubleshooting on the wheel, isn't he, all the way through. Looked pretty quick through that.
Exactly. So how long will this last?
McLaren were chasing performance from the first session of practice around the Principality earlier this weekend. They've just not been at the races like we've been used to in previous years. They won the race with Lando Norris 1 year ago.
The problem is still here.
Yeah, we're still looking for another fix. We are looking for another fix.
So Piastri also will jump Hadjar as it stands, with Hadjar struggling, and he's very slow on the last lap. So they have a decision here. Norris has a chance to try and do something about Gasly as Leclerc gets the call to pit in.
Ferrari assembling in the pit lane. Charles Leclerc, who has the chance.
The problem is still here.
Yeah, we're still looking for another fix. We are looking for another fix.
Pole yesterday on run number 1 in qualifying. Run number 2 saw him hit the wall. And Charles Leclerc is back into the Grand Prix with a stop of 3.3 seconds. Driver 3rd in the points battle going in to today. He's trying to score a 3rd podium in his home race. He's won it in 2024. He was 2nd in 2025.
And his job remains pretty simple. Stay within 5 seconds of Lewis now for the rest of the race, and he will get 2nd place. He has 5 seconds to make up to get there.
I think it was about 19 seconds behind Antonelli, who made his stop. So let's see, Antonelli seemingly not showing any signs of degradation in those tyres. 16.1 last time around. He has the high likelihood of opening up such a gap that he can pit and come out still leading.
He's got the race lead, he got pole position, and he'll be hoping to lead the entirety of this one. And what a place to dominate the field. An exhibition at the front as we move to lap 37 of 78, and a gaggle of cars further back now sees Franco Colapinto pit from 12th position. Currently occupying the final points paying place is Alex Albon, but Hadjar has that problem hanging over him, and they can't find a quick fix. It's been plenty of minutes now since he first reported it.
Russell is now reported for speeding in the pit lane, under investigation. What's going on?
Very unusual.
It's unlikely to be as they enter the pit lane, because you come out of Rascasse and you haven't really built that much speed, 60 kilometers an hour.
Maybe it is. Maybe.
Wow.
I mean, you're not going to just press the button on the exit sooner than the line, are you? That seems like the more elementary mistake.
You're desperately trying to wiggle your way out onto that racetrack. They've got the tarmac that runs down to its different levels between pit lane.
So the only other option, which is a likely... here comes Antonelli. Let's have a look at the race leader.
Kimi Antonelli with a massive hurdle to clear. There aren't many.
Oh, lads, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully now there's a little bit of bad luck for him. Just a bad pit stop. Safety car comes out. Hamilton or Leclerc could take the lead.
2.3 seconds, and that is exemplary from the World Championship leader and his team. They're top of the pile in both categories at the moment. He's back onto the racetrack, still with the race lead. Antonelli having a day and then some.
I think he still opened out the gap while he was on the old tyres. We'll get confirmation once he's completed the lap, but I'm fascinated to know what the conversations are between the team and Antonelli. Are they just letting him get on with it? Are they saying, Kimi, buddy, just enjoy the view because you've got such a lead? That could get wiped out, of course, if there was a full safety car. So there are many twists and turns towards a checkered flag in Monaco, but this first stint of the Grand Prix has just been, well, stunning.
Here's another development, a 5-second time penalty for George Russell. He got away with the potential one at the start. He does not get away with speeding in the pit lane. 5 seconds will be added to his race time. He is not scheduled to make another.
What's with these lads speeding in the pit lane, man? I don't get this. They know they've got the magic button. Are they not pressing the button? Are they... I don't get it.
And McLaren still have that up their sleeve if they want to get Lando to drop back. But of course, Lando is going to be fully focused here.
Well, on that load, anyway, lads, I'm going for a fucking fag. Why, a cigarette, why not? This has been a disaster of a shit show of a live stream, but sure. Anyway, I'll keep the coverage going.
Listen to you all hopeful, having said it earlier in the race. There's the burst into the sunlight, and Lando Norris, well, they've found a solution, haven't they, at McLaren? That's what Isaac Hadjar was hoping for at Red Bull, but Norris can't fight even a defensive shape thrown from Gasly at the moment.
No, my hope of that pass is dwindling a little, but they will still be hoping. Oh, Gasly takes a lot of curb, so does Norris. Here's the Raskas special.
Yeah, but it's been blocked off nicely by Gasly. He's got the experience, he knows what the potential is, but you see Norris has been running in that dirty air for quite some time and taking more out of his tyres.
The noise Jolin's going to make if we get an overtake. Oh, you have to turn down your televisions. Hulkenberg finds himself at the left-hand side of your picture, and after all the joy of the fresh rubber earlier on, he caught the back of Arvid Lindblad, and that is where he has stayed. It's a very tight battle, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, and Sainz at the moment. Sainz, who is dropping back, and Williams looking to secure that point. Lando Norris taking any route he can over the pavements at the hotel hairpin to try and find a way past Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, he took the sort of Antonelli qualifying lap line through the corner, so when he came into the camera shot there, front wheel in the air, and well, George Russell has caught them with those fresh tyres.
This is Piastri's chance to build the gap as well. They're both falling away. Piastri needs 19 seconds, a little over, to pit and come out ahead of Russell. And even if he comes behind, within 5 seconds at the end would give him the place. But maybe McLaren can have both here. Gasly again, he is having to cover the Raskas line. I will claim that.
It's the first time we're seeing Gasly start to move around. The Audi gets out of the way. Through goes the Alpine, through goes the McLaren, through goes the Mercedes. Alpine. So many teams talked up their chances of the new regulations giving them a leap forward. Alpine, 10th, back of the field last year, absolutely nowhere. Took the decision to switch to Mercedes power. It's paid off as well, and Gasly is getting close to tying his points total from the entirety of last year in round 6 of 2026.
Dropping back by 1 second per lap to Piastri ahead, so this will be a risk now for Mercedes and George, who will have every incentive to try and make an overtake, but I don't know if he's going to be the man to try the lunge.
Leclerc hasn't nibbled away at that 5 seconds. As I say that, he's just pulled it under 10 seconds, the gap to Hamilton. Plenty of time in this Grand Prix for him to try and work that time back, and as you said, he just needs to be within 5 seconds of Hamilton to secure that second place.
Traffic's such a big factor though. There's Hamilton, and then he's got now the pack of Sainz, Lindblad and Hulkenberg between himself and his teammate, and they are all on a go-slow mission right now because Sainz is just dropping Hulkenberg, who's already pitted, away from Albon's pit window, so sacrificing one car for the point of the other at the moment. Williams.
George Russell makes his way around the Cadillac. Cadillac's first Monaco Grand Prix today. Still Hulkenberg runs within half a second of Arvid Lindblad, 18-year-old, our sole rookie in the field. You can see how much George Russell soaring away at that steering wheel, trying to make anything happen, as Norris is tucked back in to 1 second away. This is where they will be trying to use all of the boost that they've got, all the electrical energy, alongside the internal combustion engine, and Russell giving it everything. Colapinto's now been noted for speeding in the pit lane. What a strange day we're having when it comes to that idiosyncrasy.
So, I'm going to go with Julian's foresight on this, that it can only be that entry phase then, which for me normally, you know, you come out of Raskas on the inside, it's such a sort of tight you know, you're underspeeding up to the pit lane speed and you're running straight into it. So you would have activated the speed limiter before you get up to the 60.
So you've got three options. One, you've been a bit of a wally and you've unlatched the speed limiter before on the exit. Difficult to imagine, as Norris has to check the mirrors here.
Heading to Sandevot, don't see many passes into there, and usually it results in contact if you do get moves through there. Russell trying to deploy all of the power that he's got, no way by.
Lando, we want to do the holding strategy on Russell. We want to build up the seconds over the next couple of laps, please. Lando, we want to do the holding strategy on Russell. We want to build up the seconds over the next couple of laps, please.
With Norris to give Piastri a chance of 4th place and possibly, you never know, a podium. If there was a safety car or something else, with Hamilton having a penalty and anything else to happen. So it's the right call. So, speeding the pit lane. Either you've been a wally and you've done it on the exit. You can't have 3 wallies in the field. So then you have to look at the pit entry. Coming through Rascasse, you're right, it's a very low speed. They have got better acceleration this year. Yep, nothing that they can do about it right now on the pit wall.
Franco Colapinto did get a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Hello lads, welcome back. And I'm back, out for my cigarette break. Antonelli in the lead, lads. Hamilton in 2nd, Leclerc in 3rd. We've got Piastri in 4th, Gasly in 5th. Norris, the world champ, a nightmare of a year, isn't he? Norris in 6th. Russell in 7th. Hadjar is having a bit of an issue with his car, but they've kept it going. But he's in 8th. Lawson 9th. Albon in 10th. Now, Verstappen, Bottas and Behrman are out. Verstappen was out in the first lap. He had some technical issues. It's a bit strange that his car retires and yet Hadjar's is still going. Now, maybe they found the issue and they realized the issue exactly what it was when Verstappen had his problem, and now they're actually just adjusting in real time as he is out in the track at the moment. So we'll see now. Lap 44 gone, so 44 out of 78. So we're over the halfway mark, well over it now actually. But Antonelli has got an 18-second lead over Hamilton, and then Leclerc is 27 behind, so he's 9 seconds behind Hamilton. So anyway, back to the action, lads.
On the right hand side, so if you are with a little bit more grunt this year, the electric motor working well and picking up speed, more torque, more speed, and then you whip it into the right hand side.
George Russell has now been noted for crossing the line at pit exit. You have to stay the correct side of the white line. If you cross it, you usually get a 5-second penalty, and that really is a tough message to read if you're a George Russell fan or you're on his side of the Mercedes garage. It is the complete upending of what we expected at the start of the season, and he's been chasing performance. He said afterwards, as Albon pits from 10th position, the left-hand side of your picture, and takes on what looks to be the soft tyres on that Williams, and George Russell finally gets
got a major problem
because Lando Norris is retiring from the Grand Prix by the looks of things. It was an issue earlier on, and he's struggling for speed.
Now, it looks like whatever it was, well, I was going to say it reset itself. Could I expect to see him pull over to the left-hand side? But no, he is bringing that car to pit lane. We can see the McLaren mechanics coming out in the pit lane, ready to receive him.
Lando, we're going to box this lap and retire the car. We're going to box the lap and retire the car.
Lando Norris's difficult season when it comes to reliability. It's cost him so much time on track. He had an issue earlier in the weekend. He didn't start in China. He retired in Canada, and he retires in Monaco.
Man, you know, it's almost like I've never seen a Formula 1 season like this. I've never seen this. I've never seen this in karting, Formula Ford, Formula 3, 2, Formula 1, where everything is just so up in the air. I mean, you've got four-time world champion Max Verstappen having an absolute nightmare of a year, disastrous. Lando Norris, the present world champion, having a nightmare. He's just retired with his car. Mercedes are just killing it, and Mercedes are an amazing team. Don't get me wrong. I just think that they're not winning because they've found an amazing setup, if you know what I mean. It's just the other teams are struggling. Now, at the same time, that's a skill too, right? A skill is not fucking up, not having mistakes. Look at the blind spots. So again, that is amazing from Mercedes, because it depends on which way you look at it, you know. What a year! What a year!
Leave signs to go long in the hope that there's a safety car, and play the team game.
Yeah, it's ultimate team game here for Williams. They'll just swap that and manipulate it to be 10th and 11th, which will be 9th and 10th with Norris out of the race.
And that's where they finished last year. And Williams looking for more points.
Is there a reason for this? Because if I'm P10, what are you trying to do? I mean, I'm happy to do it, but are we just risking something for nothing, or?
So Albon querying it. We didn't get the team reply, but he has listened, and Sainz is up to 9th, and now Albon will restrict the pace on the soft tyres.
Is there a reason for this? Because if I'm P10, what are you trying to do? I mean, I'm happy to do it, but are we just risking something for nothing, or?
To us.
Safety car or a red flag or something for these guys. So much frustration for Hulkenberg, who's had pace that early pit stop. The promise it looked good as he gets right up behind Lindblad up the hill, but you cannot make a pass at Massenet. And I can see from Albon's point of view, actually, you've qualified 11th, you're then de facto 10th place because Verstappen's out at the start. You're heading for what will be a second points finish of the year, and you're doing well. You're ahead of your teammate. And regardless of any backing up, they could have done that. This is Norris retiring.
That was the moment that it let go for Lando Norris. George Russell got through, then Isaac Hadjar got through, and he was called back to retire.
I got nothing. My battery. Something's wrong. I got nothing. My battery.
Canada Sunday. Another one there. It's not looking great, is it, for Mercedes power units? They're getting away with it. I have to say, Norris, or the main team, are getting away with it. Norris has been so unlucky this year.
He's lost a huge amount of track time, hampering his time.
So, lads, if you've just joined on, if you're not actually watching the screen, I'll tell you and I'll give you the update. So, Verstappen is out of the Monaco Grand Prix. First lap retirement, technical problem with the car. Hadjar, his teammate, he's having a bit of an issue now. It looks like that Hadjar was going to have the same problem as Verstappen now. A lot of times in racing, where, especially with the technology of Formula 1 these days now, where if Verstappen had the problem, they've identified the problem, and sometimes you can literally get it sorted with your technology, even if it is remote, even back at the factory in England at Red Bull. So you could even get that sorted, tweak the thing, do whatever you need to do, adjust it, cure it even. And Hadjar had the problems, but he's just hanging on there now, and he's in 6th. So Antonelli's in the lead, Hamilton in 2nd, Leclerc in 3rd, Piastri 4th, Russell 5th, Hadjar in 6th, Gasly 7th, Lawson in 8th, Sainz in 9th, and Albon in 10th. So it's 49 laps out of 78. So we've got 29 laps left to go. So we'll be back.
Find himself elevated, and right, here we go then, big moment. Let's see where that works out. Can anyone find an overtake? It's Antonelli, Hamilton, Leclerc, Piastri, and George Russell. Hadjar still operating, even though there's a problem, and that's very slow. And through goes the car, and what on earth?
You're at the point now. No mistake.
Just the team tactics cost Alex Albon a position.
We didn't actually gain, we just sort of came to that quite late. Did he make a mistake through Anthony Nogues, and that's where he's got out of position, or was there a sort of momentary hiccup with deployment?
That was bizarre. So he's on a new soft tyre. He should not be passed. by anyone on an old medium there, let alone a rookie Arvid Lindblad into coming out of that corner. Slow again now, Albon. So this is a sensible enough tactic for Williams. Sainz backs up, Albon gets the free stop, then Albon backs up, Sainz gets the same.
He goes over the chicane. There's the harbourside chicane, and then is there a call to let him go by?
No, there can't be from there. I wonder if Albon's just got a problem, you know. He's just backing up even more.
Yeah, he backed off to make sure that he hadn't gained a lasting advantage. So the gap between them by the time they got into back was the same.
It's been noted for leaving the track and gaining advantage. It is worth saying, Mercedes power in the back of that Williams.
Unless he has let him by out of extreme caution. Lindblad needs to pit. So it hasn't changed Albon's life at this stage, but he's clearly not enjoying trying to play out this tactic.
If we were to stop again under safety car, we have plenty of margin. You just have to be really careful on the entry and exit. What you did last time was perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to stop.
No, it's only safety car. You can get a free stop, that's all.
I mean, he could if he wanted to, but it would be high pressure and needless. So he's got the fastest lap, no point for it anymore in Formula One, but he's got pole position, he's led all the way. What a time to be Kimi Antonelli. He was rushed through the junior formula, but I don't think anyone out there, including him, expected him to win 5 Grand Prix in a row.
If we were to stop again under safety car, we have plenty of margin. You just have to be really careful on the entry and exit. What you did last time was perfectly fine.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to stop.
No, it's only safety car. You can get a free stop, that's all.
Tick through the laps. So here we go then. I think you're right. I think Albon must have let Lindblad through out of just extreme caution from the team that he was going to get a penalty for being ahead and staying ahead.
But it's all about lasting advantage. You know, no question he's missed the chicane, but he's slowed down, and as long as the relative positions, and it wasn't like it was defending an overtake. There was no overtake, so it's not I'm about to be overtaken, so I'm just going to miss the chicane.
Hey guys, what do you reckon is going on with Pierre Gasly? He's been investigated for speeding in the pit lane. What a strange day. I've never seen it that many times with that.
Jesus Christ, now lads, now we've got Gasly, Russell, Hamilton, they're all speeding in the pit lane. Is there something, I'm actually kind of wondering, is there something actually wrong with sorry, even the guys are saying it there, is there a technical issue with their technology at the track? I mean, because they've got the button, they come into the pit lane, they hit the pit lane button, and it keeps them nice and secure, nice and safe, probably about like a half a mile, maybe a mile under the speed, like again playing it safe, you know what I mean, but at least then it takes out the driver error. So 3 different teams, 3 different drivers having the same problem, this is not adding up. I don't get this. And also, this is a weird one. Kimi Antonelli's leading the race, right? And let me just double check, and he is 23 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Now, if Antonelli came into the pit lane, he'd have just about enough time to come in, change the tyres, and out again, and he'd still be in the lead. Now, that's worst case scenario. At the same time, Antonelli's engineer came on the radio and says, well, we've got enough for a pit stop. Antonelli says, no, I don't need to come in, we're fine, whatever he said, right? And he's right. And your man's just like, oh, well, I'm just saying, you know, sort of casually. Number one, you don't come into the pit lane no matter what happens. That's the last thing you want to do, especially if you've got a huge lead. Number two, even if he had a problem and the car was getting slower and slower, which, by the way, he's not even in this situation, but even if the car was going slower and slower, Monaco's tight, it's slow, it's twisty. He'd be able to hold people back. He'd be able to defend like crazy to still hold on to the lead. This is not like, I don't know, I'm trying to think, you know, a high-speed track, Suzuka, Silverstone, Spa. Like, it's not one of these places where you can overtake. But to put that in his head, that's a weird thing to put in your head, into his head, man. I honestly, that's very strange. That doesn't add up. That's like saying to a boxer in mid-fight, hey man, if you need to change your underwear, well, you can change them there. And you're like, no, I'm in the box. Well, I'm just saying, it's no problem. We'll take a timeout. You don't do it until you really have to. Anyway, back to this.
Stroll's under investigation for track limits. It's getting weirder and weirder, this Grand Prix. 54 of 78. Kimi Antonelli putting on an exhibition. Confirmation that Stroll is under investigation for that. He's currently running in 16th position. He is 5.6 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. Meant to update you on this a while ago, but we're cycling through the strangeness of the pit lane speed limiter. Charles Leclerc is now within the 5 seconds that he needs for second place, as Carlos Sainz comes in to improve his teammates' day somewhat and make the stop, and Alex Albon can finally get on with it.
Well, Sainz will come out ahead of Albon, and then he'll give the place back up. And then Williams, then with the full manipulation, can get up to speed and drive away from Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, as long as he plays the team game, he'll improve his teammates' day.
Yeah, look, just to sort of spice things up, I would cue the sort of sinister music. Oh, and yes, he does. Well, how did that?
Be careful, because if
Hülkenberg's going to blend in. That is not the easiest moment, and the Williams are line astern, and Alex Albon really had to play the spoiler there to keep the Audi behind, but they did keep the Audi behind.
Well, you would say they judged that to perfection, because it was all there as Sainz came back onto the racetrack.
Might have given it a little bit more margin if I was Williams.
Yeah.
Do one more lap of go slow, and then we'll sort it out.
Oscar Piastri, you know the guy, car 81. He's under investigation for speeding in the pit lane.
Right. I'm going to go with there's an issue somewhere with the timing sensors or the distance sensors that give us the speed across the pit lane. They can't all be making the same mistake.
Yeah. I mean, I'm running out of explanations for this. Here we go. This is Russell crossing the white line.
You know what, lads? I've got to agree with David Coulthard here. And believe me, I rarely agree with David Coulthard on a lot of things, but I think he's actually on the ball on this one. 3 drivers, Hamilton, Russell and Gasly, apparently speeding in the pit lane. Even Coulthard just said there that there must be something wrong with the timing sensor or something. I mean, at the end of the day, like, Monaco's not an actual proper racing track. It's a street track, right? So to be fair to things like this, they're transported in for the weekend, and then they're shipped out again at the end of the weekend. There has to be something wrong, because they've got the button, they can press it, they're used to it, but 3 different drivers in 3 different teams? Very strange, lads.
Why is everyone getting a penalty? What's going on here?
It's like when we first had proximity sensors on the start to actually judge if a driver made a jump start.
There's something weird with the engine up the hill.
Having a look.
Okay. Well, that's news to us as well as our viewers and listeners. But yeah, I was just going to say, just to finish on that, when they first brought in the sensors on the start-finish for the grid, we had quite a few jump starts because they figured out that it was way too sensitive, and then they detuned it to basically mean that we weren't actually crossing.
There's something weird with the engine up the hill.
Having a look.
Has one hand on the Monaco Grand Prix trophy, but does he have a reliable car underneath him? So far this year in Grand Prix, it's only been as low as 2nd place. He's been told not to worry about it. You can understand that he is hearing every rattle and every vibration after a performance this dominant around the famous streets. And no further investigation for Russell for crossing the line at pit exit. So he remains on just the speeding in the pit lane penalty. And it's worth saying that our researchers have found out earlier this weekend 5 penalties and the fines that you get if you do it outside of the race for speeding in the pit lane.
Again, Kimi, fastest lap. We don't need them.
I've heard that before. Very reminiscent of what Max Verstappen used to do in the lead of a Grand Prix.
Vettel was prone to that.
Again, Kimi, fastest lap. We don't need them.
All of the laps and win the Grand Prix.
The race engineer, Pete Bonington, so much success with Lewis Hamilton, and now winning with Kimi Antonelli. Hadjar continuing to run. Albon, no further investigation for locking up and going over the Nouvelle chicane.
Quite surprised Williams are making their lives as uncomfortable as this still, with Hulkenberg right nipping at the heels of Albon.
Well, it's going to be tricky at the moment. That's the battle we're going back to right now. There is a way there's just not enough margin to the Audi.
Fresh soft tyres, you'd think they'd just drive away now from the Audi. I know Audi have been quick this weekend. Hulkenberg started kind of out of position in 13th, but he's on hard tyres that he's been on since lap 12. So fresh softs should give Sainz and Albon enough of a gap to break clear from Hulkenberg. Then they'll swap positions surely to keep things fair. Lindblad will pit, and they'll be 9th and 10th again. But Hulkenberg's, if you can get any sort of look at pressurising Albon and making life uncomfortable for him, then there's still a chance of a first point of the season for Nico Hulkenberg.
Yeah, signs of those fresher tyres, he'll be quite, and there you go, they've done the swap.
The Williams swap back over, and the team game works brilliantly for them. Arvid Lindblad still needs to stop, and they're on to repeat what they did last year in the same order that they did it last year. 9th and 10th looming large for Williams. Alex Albon back ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Hulkenberg's great run on the hard tyre, man-marked by the Williams strategy. And Albon didn't enjoy that, but he is, when Lindblad pits, going to be on for a result that he will desperately want. It's not been easy. Carlos Sainz has had 3 9th places so far this year. Alex Albon.
So lads, if you've just joined on, there's some weird controversy going on here at Monaco. So if you're not watching the screen, I'll call it out to you. 59 laps gone out of 78. So Antonelli has a nice, handsome lead, 29.2 seconds over Hamilton in second. Charles Leclerc rounding up the top 3. George Russell in 4th. Hadjar in 5th. He had a couple of technical issues there at the start, but he seems to, I think they've ironed out the problems here. Oscar Piastri in 6th. Another disaster for Piastri. Gasly in 7th. Lawson in 8th. Lindblad in 9th. And Albon in 10th. And the news, Verstappen had a DNF, a technical issue, on lap 1. Bottas is also out, Behrman is out, and Norris is also out. Another technical issue for Norris. And also, not only that, weird kind of controversy here. Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, and Gasly all have got speeding fines, or speeding limits. They over-exceeded the speeding limit in the pit lane, apparently. Now, it's a weird one because it's 3 different teams, so it's not like it's a technical glitch with a certain car and they have it on both cars. It's weird, and these guys are used to the pit lane speed, so for them to have something like this is very bizarre. So it looks like that something is wrong with the pit lane sensor. And Lance Stroll just hit the barrier. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Gents, ladies and gents, safety car comes out now. This will give Hamilton the perfect opportunity now to get right on Antonelli's ass, but the problem is, can you overtake? It ain't over. It ain't over. You never know what could happen here.
Waiting for a big update. And an enormous lead for Kimi Antonelli will be wiped away.
Pit lane's getting busy as all the teams get ready.
Mercedes are out, McLaren are out for Oscar Piastri. And Mercedes head back in. Ferrari are out and they're waiting.
I think Lindblad went past. But am I getting misinformation on our screen here? It's not showing that Lindblad's actually made a stop.
Not yet. We'll keep it updated. Piastri is in. Lewis Hamilton is going to get new tyres from Ferrari.
This is going to work beautifully for Hamilton because he takes his penalty and Leclerc will sit behind him. So Hamilton will effectively take that penalty for no cost.
Charles Leclerc is in as well. He will get new tyres. Softs going on to the Ferrari. And he is back into the queue.
But why the hell are we pitting?
I was just going to ask that. Yeah, they've committed Charles to effectively taking a 5-second penalty as well, as he waited for Hamilton to take his 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So Antonelli stays out on a hard tyre. Ferrari's just put on softs. Kimi is coming through to back corner right now. Has he caught the safety car, or can he get back in? I think he probably has enough pace in hand to get back in and take on a new set of softs and just man-mark the Ferraris right now.
Into the pit lane come Mercedes. We look out of the commentary box and they make their way now. The instruction is all cars through the pit lane, and they will not leave him out. Antonelli will come back to the pits. And the safety car makes its way through, and so does our race leader. He's got a restart to deal with, but he will be on the soft tyres like the Ferraris.
Incredibly, George Russell's going to have to stack behind his teammate because he's been lapped as well.
Oh, it wasn't quick on the left rear. It's enough, 4.5, and now over to Russell. Cautious, sending him back into the fast lane of the pit lane. Antonelli, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Hadjar, the top 5.
Hadjar, I think, has come out
Yes,
ahead of Russell.
yes.
Yeah, Hadjar jumped Russell. So George, by virtue of being lapped by his teammate, has had to stack behind him and lose more time. So Hadjar goes through. Remember, I mean, this is just so difficult for him.
But again, he didn't have to take the tyres. He didn't have to stack. We're not talking, you know, the majority of the race left on board with Lance Stroll. Gets through the first part of Rascasse OK into Anthony Nogues. Yeah, he actually, that was like a driver error. It looks like he turned in late. Now, whether that was because...
Like, guys, you know, even when Antonelli's... We were just discussing this, what, maybe half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago. Antonelli's, he has a huge lead of 22 seconds. Antonelli's engineer comes on, hey, look, you know, if you want to come into the pit lane, change tyres, well, we've got, you know, you can do. Antonelli comes back on the radio and says, no, we're good. In other words, basically, what he's basically saying, and I know this was a racing driver's point of view, in other words, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And he went, oh no, you know, just saying, you know, if we do have the gap. Okay, the last thing you ever want to do, and I'm repeating myself from literally 20 minutes ago, that's the last thing you ever want to do. And guess what? A safety car just came out. Antonelli still has the lead. Hamilton in second still. But let's just say he did come into the pit lane, right? And now, look, okay, you'd have to get him at the perfect time, of course, and, you know, the safety car. But the safety car has just come out. But, like, that could have easily now. Engineer calls him in. Antonelli doesn't want to come in, but he's like, all right, fuck, I'm forced to come in. He comes in. Hamilton goes ahead for that one lap, let's just say. Or, even if he's close, safety car comes out. Boom. And the engineer could have fucked everything up.
I don't even know why I'm listening. I honestly, at that point, I know we need to become better, but why are you not letting me out? I didn't even understand your explanation, to be honest.
Well, on the weekend, when he's extended his contract for multiple years, putting all his eggs in the Ferrari basket, his frustration is clear.
So best case for Leclerc, he stays out, he gets track position over Hamilton, he's in second place. Doesn't affect Ferrari's life. Best case for Ferrari is you have the car on new soft tyres behind the Mercedes and you have a chance to attack. Now, obviously, Mercedes have covered him off, but if
that was Hamilton, though. You're putting Hamilton in that situation.
But if you don't pit Leclerc, then he'll still be behind Antonelli, and he'll be in second place on worse tyres than if Ferrari pit both cars and they're both on new softs. So it makes Leclerc's life worse. It lets Hamilton off the hook with his penalty, but overall for Ferrari, they're still second and third, but the car in second has soft tyres.
Yeah, but it commits, I guess it commits Leclerc to finishing behind Hamilton, and that's his thing. He's thinking, well, look, second's better than nothing.
Okay, so Antonelli makes his stop, and then George Russell comes in and does not serve the penalty.
No, he doesn't. I didn't think he did. So Hadjar didn't dive into the box. He's gone through the pit lane because the safety car came through the pit lane. All the cars did. He is still on old hard tyres, so that's why he's ahead. There's a lot going on here with the pits. But Russell did not serve his penalty.
So Hadjar has got a car problem, and this has been an unusual Grand Prix, but this is the latest safety car restart in the Monaco Grand Prix since 2017. The lap cars may now overtake. The instruction has been to move from the pit lane to the main racetrack once more. And this is going to take a while to make our way through. Now, in terms of those 5-second penalties, we now know that Piastri has served his. Message comes from race control. The graphics that you can see still with the 5 seconds hanging over them. But Hamilton's has not been noted.
And I think Russell's going to get in trouble for that, for not serving a penalty when you are mandated to serve the penalty in the pit stops. So Mercedes were obviously so focused on servicing the race leader coming in, they've then double stacking, someone's getting to work quickly.
I wonder if they're counting the moment he was just sitting there waiting for the car in front to be serviced.
I think you've got to be stationary in the box. I don't think stationary in the pit.
I think you're absolutely right. But remember, way back, I think it was at '94, the Benetton team figured out where the pit lane was, and for some sort of penalty, they finished the race and then served it effectively after the checkered. And I'm confusing myself there now, but there have been loopholes over the years.
There have been. I think you're thinking of when Schumacher won the British Grand Prix by going over the start-finish line in the pit lane.
Yes. That's right.
And
that's exactly what I was thinking.
That was, you got away with that one because the penalty was delivered too late. It used to be a rule that you had to issue a penalty in 20 minutes. You used to have stop-go penalties at the end of the pit lane, not served with your team, but in a special box. But that's a strange one for George Russell. There was an opportunity there. Hadjar is in 4th position, Russell in 5th, Gasly in 6th place. Piastri has served his penalty in 7th, and it's Lawson. And then we have Lindblad, who continues on, and then Albon and Sainz. Safety car still out. At the Monaco Grand Prix, Kimi Antonelli had an enormous gap that's been eroded at the moment that was deployed for the crash of Lance Stroll's Aston Martin.
All right, lads, if you've just joined, welcome. And Monaco Grand Prix, and we are 64 laps in out of 78. And Antonelli is still in the lead. Hamilton in 2nd, Leclerc 3rd, Hadjar 4th, Russell in 5th, Gasly in 6th, Piastri in 7th, Lawson in 8th, Lindblad in 9th, and Albon rounding up the top 10. Verstappen had a retirement, technical problem on the first lap. And we're on a safety car as we speak. Antonelli is in the lead with the soft tyres now. He came into the pits. Hamilton also came into the pits. They all pretty much came into the pits. And they're on the soft tyres. If there's any chance, Hamilton was 22 seconds behind Antonelli for one stage of the race. But now he's only just under a second. But if the safety car comes in, he still has a very, very minute, small chance of winning. Problem with Monaco, it's so short and twisty and tight, it's going to be almost impossible to overtake Antonelli, unless he does a kamikaze move. Now, to be honest, at this stage, Hamilton doesn't look like he's going to go very far in the championship. Of course, you never know. But at this stage, fuck it. I'd be just lunging that car up into the inside and going into that chicane, man. That's what I'd be doing. Hopefully he does. You never know. Let's see.
Restart for Kimi to deal with now.
Well, Lewis Hamilton, with a huge amount of experience in Formula One, 3 times a Grand Prix winner around here. Start number 386. This is start number 30 for Kimi Antonelli, 19 years of age. The Grand Prix was won. There's only one hand on the trophy around here when you've not got to the end of the 78 laps, because you can always get a safety car, you can always get a curveball, and now he's got to keep Lewis Hamilton behind. Hamilton trying to win his first Grand Prix for Ferrari. Antonelli trying to win in Monaco and make it 5 in a row. The green flag flies on the start of the main finish straight. Oh, but into the wall and out of the race. Charles Leclerc from the podium to the wall, and it goes wrong on the restart for the home favourite.
There was no grip at all. You could see Antonelli, when he put his foot down, was just slithering around, had nothing. The tyre warm-up wasn't there on the soft. Hamilton followed him through, and Leclerc's obviously just found the barrier going straight, not finding front grip. That opens the door for a podium, possibly for Isaac Hadjar, and it's heartbreak for such a frustrated man this weekend.
Isaac Hadjar has won Formula One Grand Prix podium. He is in third at the moment with an ailing car. He will not believe it if he finishes there. The cars have been called to go through the pit lane, and the home favourite, Charles Leclerc, retires on the safety car restart. Antonelli.
Oh, lads, Charles Leclerc has just had enough. I don't know if no grip, just made it. Driver mistake. It happens. It happens. It wasn't like it was the race lead, but they're on a safety car again.
Skating by into the wall and out.
Hadjar nearly rear-ended him as well on his way. Look how close Isaac gets there to going straight and just has to really slow it down. He's been struggling with the brakes all weekend. It's not a big braking zone there, but when you got the cold tyres, cold brakes as well, probably sitting around behind the safety car, not feeling like he's getting any bite for it when he's suddenly.
Honestly, I'm not going to take the blame. Right.
Big stops.
For the first time this season in a Grand Prix, a Ferrari will not reach the flag, and Ferrari's 100% finishing record is gone. And Charles Leclerc, his record around here is just pure pace. Every single year he turns up, and in 2024 he's secured that emotional victory on the podium last year. Looked like he was going to be on the podium again, and not getting on with the brakes has been the story of his weekend, and this time it costs him on the restart. The race controllers now said they're going to stay on track. They're not going through the pit lane this time around. You've got to get that right, otherwise that's a penalty as well. And he's provided us with Monaco magic and Monaco misery, and pretty much nothing in between.
Body language tells you which way this one's gone. What a horrible weekend for Charles. Frustration throughout. He's been really quick. That's the thing. He's been super quick.
And the emotions spilling out. He knows that camera's there as well. He goes back to his race engineer, Brian Bossie, for the immediate debrief. It wasn't just him on that restart struggling. Antonelli it was obvious that he did not have the confidence.
And he's got to do it again.
Got an update from race control. George Russell has been noted for failing to serve the time penalty correctly, and that could be an extra penalty for the driver second in the points.
We've seen that as a 10-second penalty in the past. So, yeah, Toto Wolff did not want that aired over the radio, but that's better news for Hadjar now, because the two behind him have to serve.
Guys, I mean, this is just crazy. I don't get it. Now George Russell's getting, what, on high alert because he didn't do his time penalty because of his apparently speeding in the pit lane. Like, the race is not even over yet. We're 68 laps out of 78, so we've got, what, just over 10 laps left. He still has 10 laps to complete his penalty. So why are they bitching and moaning about it? I mean, why are they giving a time limit on serving his penalty? In fact, even if, oh guys, there's a red flag, even if he didn't, just add the time on at the end. Just add the time on at the end. Now, I get where the officials will say, well, you know, he really took advantage and he didn't want to lose more time, right? So, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, he's still got 10 laps left to do his penalty. I mean, honestly, like, and then they removed the active aero for this weekend, which is just a ridiculous choice to do, because you have to test your car in every type of scenario. You've got to see if the transition of the front and back wing opening and closing, if it's going to work properly, if it's going to benefit. Monaco's not like going 200 miles an hour for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours of a race here. I mean, it's a slow track. It's a slow track. The FIA are they're getting out of control, man.
But when Lance Stroll hit the barrier on the restart, we have seen Charles Leclerc go to the wall, and now we line up in the pit lane and we await a restart in Monaco. There is a potential here, if the race director chooses, a standing restart option. But I got to tell you, it's totally in the discretion of Rui Marquez. Your analysis.
Ooh, actually, guys, lads, I didn't even think of that. If it red flag, chances are they going to do a rolling start? Okay, if they do a standing start, Hamilton's got a chance. He's just got to make a start from the gods, and Leclerc to have a bit of a disadvantage off. I mean, for Antonelli to make a horrendous start. It can still go in his favour.
For Gasly, 10 seconds to serve. Now Russell may well have a bigger penalty coming as well. It could be a standing restart. Lindblad has absolutely got himself to where he needs to do. Racing Bulls have gone brave with the strategy. They've done probably the only option that might get them there, and luck has played its part to get them there. 7th and 8th.
All right, party people, let's give you an update on what we think is going on with the pit lane. There are suggestions from teams on the radio that it is cutting the distance across the line in front of Cadillac. That is shortening the distance, and therefore on average...
Okay, lads, we're going to take a quick break in just a moment. But anyway, if you've just joined on, we've got a red flag at Monaco. We've got 10 laps remaining, so they're going to stop. They're in the pits at the moment. They'll be obviously lining back up again. Hopefully we'll have a standing start, because if it's a rolling start, Antonelli gets the advantage. If it's a standing start, Hamilton's in second. He's got to make an incredible start off the line to get the win. You never know what could happen here, or Antonelli could lock up. But this will be interesting. Antonelli in the lead, Hamilton in second, Hadjar in third, Russell in fourth, Gasly in fifth, Piastri in sixth, Lawson in seventh, Lindblad in eighth, Albon in ninth, and Carlos Sainz in 10th. So we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment, but we'll keep the coverage going.
Whether he cuts across, so your distance there is potentially what is shortening it and causing the speeding in the pit lane penalties.
So he does, and Colapinto does. Now Colapinto's not a great reference because he's also got one of these penalties, and I wonder if that's not been possible to the team so far through the weekend. Maybe a Cadillac out in the garage, or you've had something there that means that on the way in there's no garage there, so it's free choice. On the way out, that is Cadillac space. So that is the difference there. Hey, we've got a sensible solution in the end to this. But why have Alpine allowed Pierre Gasly to go through and do it again and not had a check of what was going on? They've got the data available to them.
I can tell you the red flag is for this track breakup. So the race director will inspect this. They're going to sweep the track. Got to say congratulations to the Monaco Grand Prix marshals. They've been exemplary all weekend. They clear the cars so quickly in every category. They'll sweep it, but there will be a call to be made by the race director about whether he thinks that is an acceptable surface of the racetrack. And if he doesn't, he can call a halt to the Monaco Grand Prix and freeze the order. That is available to him in the rule book as well.
Maybe gives more explanation as to why Stroll had that strange look, even though you could see the marbles there. Track break-up, losing grip, and drivers still turning in. You've got Stroll going in, and then the next time they're trying to attack with any speed, you've got Charles Leclerc going in as well.
That's Arvid Lindblad in conversation. And we've got a shootout to win the Monaco Grand Prix. I can tell you that Max Verstappen's already gone home. He only lives 500 metres away. But his teammate, what an opportunity for a first podium. I mean, he must have thought his Grand Prix was done, and instead he might finish it on the podium that he would desperately want. He's alone with his thoughts for the moment.
He was saying earlier on how just emotionally tiring a Monaco weekend is. He's been brilliant here last year as well, had a great run in the Racing Bulls car, and it is to the concentration levels, the intensity of this weekend is like nothing else. When you hear him on the radio, you absolutely feel it, don't you, for him? Imagine living on the rev limiter like he does for such a long period of time. He's driven a great race to be in third, frustrated George Russell, managed to stay ahead of Piastri somehow. and now he's got a golden opportunity of a podium, and he will be exhausted later.
He won't be the only one. What a strange Grand Prix. It could yet all change. Let's hear from the first story in the race then. Max Verstappen, we wondered whether he could put the pressure on Kimi Antonelli to the first turn. He couldn't. He was the first retirement instead. Let's hear from him now.
Hey Max, obviously hard luck out there. Just how frustrating is it for that to happen given the amazing qualifying you had yesterday?
Well, I mean, after such a nice weekend for us, you at least hope to be on the podium, right? Yeah, when you of course then retire basically straight away is I think painful for everyone. There's also no need to be super upset because I think everyone is already really disappointed about it. And yeah, it's just a shame for everyone. I mean, I really hope that I could do something or at least make it an exciting race, try and put the pressure on because I really felt good this whole weekend. And now to basically come away with 0 points is, yeah, probably even more painful.
So what kind of happened in those moments when the lights were going out? And then I saw you did eventually get going, but then pulled off to the
I think already the formation that wasn't particularly great, but then in the pre-start already the engine was responding very weird. So normally at one point you find your RPM target, but the engine was basically not doing that. And then when I dropped the clutch, it basically dropped dead. I only had the battery at one point that helped me go forward. And yeah, after that, the engine sounded really bad as soon as I had a bit of power back. And I'm sure if I would have just gone flat out within the lap, I would have destroyed it completely. So they told me to bring it back slowly.
Hard luck, Max. Thanks.
Max Verstappen in conversation with Lawrence Barretto precisely 90 minutes before he wanted to be. Kimi Antonelli's done everything right today, and he holds the position that he would have wanted. It is the latest restart that we've had in Monaco since 2017.
Oh, lads, what a disaster for Max Verstappen. Just to drop the clutch. It seems to be that he's had this problem all this year, and it's still going on. They're just not getting these problems ironed out for themselves. It's very bizarre that they haven't just capitalized on this. Even for Adrian Newey, for the greatest of all time aerodynamicist. I mean, look at their cars. They're a disaster this year. What? I mean, I've said it already and I'll say it again. I don't think Mercedes are doing anything super out of the box, incredible performance here with this year. Like, they've really found something. I don't think it's actually that direction. Maybe they have. Maybe I'm bloody wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And Ferrari, they're just on their coattails. But I just think the rules have gone so bad. Mercedes have, obviously developed their car, reliable, great. But I think it's actually just the other teams are just fumbling around more. So it's more like the other teams are making the mistakes versus Mercedes just kept their composure, let's call it. They're parring the golf course, but everybody else is bogeying it, double bogeying it, It's very, very bizarre.
We have with that breakup, marble style on the racing line. If he feels it's too far, he can call a conclusion to the race. That is available as an option for him. Conversely, if you like a little bit of drama, he could send them round and do a standing start. So all things are possible, Jody and Paul.
Into an unknown track surface, heading into Anthony Nose. I mean, it's tough to know which way this is going to go. They're all having a look and seeing it. We completed so much of the race, 68 laps. Still sweeping the marble. I mean, there was so much marbles down there. And Marshall's, as ever, doing a good job. They cleared Leclerc's car so quickly, didn't they? I was surprised when the red flag went, but you can see the track breakup. New bit of tarmac down there, and it's not stood up to a full weekend of running.
Well, for Kimi Antonelli, he will be thinking, what, we've seen enough today. Staring at a 5th consecutive Grand Prix victory. He would be the first Italian to win since 2004. And he would extend his advantage in the World Championship beyond 2 Grand Prix wins.
Lindblad staying cool, isn't he? Staying chipper. Down there with Oliver Rowland. Was a development driver at Renault when I was there. Ollie Rowland, super quick. Gasly's just been told he's got another penalty coming. Oh. the frustration. He's done what he will deem as absolutely nothing wrong. Great qualifying effort for him to be 9th. Putting together a good weekend. Got a place at the start, got ahead of Norris, absorbed the pressure. 10 seconds worth of penalty for something so silly and innocuous. And that is displayed by the amount of other drivers that have done the same thing.
Okay, lads.
Stroll, and then Charles Leclerc hit the barriers.
So guys, hopefully we're going to get underway now in a moment, but just to let you know, keep you updated. So, we're at the Monaco Grand Prix, and we've got 10 laps remaining. And it's a red flag at the moment, and it's bizarre, to be honest, that it did come into a red flag. In fact, I don't even know why. I'm going to have to, maybe I missed something here, investigate this. Bizarre. Even though Leclerc had an incident, but still, to have the red flag come out. But okay, 10 laps left. Antonelli in the lead in pole, well, for now. Hamilton in second, Hadjar in third, Russell in fourth, Gasly in fifth, Piastri in sixth, Lawson in seventh, Lindblad in eighth, Albon in ninth, and Carlos Sainz rounding up the top 10. Now, there could be a bit of controversy here, but drama, should I say. If Hamilton gets a good start off the line here, it's possible he could take the lead. He's going to have to go for a lunge, though, I think, man. Either in turn one, just absolutely put the car in, lunge, close the eyes, and just hope for the best. That's what I'd be doing at this stage, especially it's Monaco. He's not looking great to win the championship this year. Now, I'm not saying anything dirty, but, you know, hey, fuck it. Just go for the move, man. Just go for the move. And whatever comes out the other end. But we'll see.
Locations go, that is right up there. Back of a yacht by some of the fastest, most exhilarating corners on the calendar.
Okay, well, we've got a resumption order. That is listed for you. It's the order when we got the red flag. But we'll wait to see whether we go to the 10-minute restart procedure that race control would notify all the teams for. They get told, and then there's a procedure, we count down, and then it's up to Rui Marquez whether we have a rolling start or a standing start.
So still under discussion, but we're certainly heading towards a restart with a start order and getting the cars settled in that place. So Ayao Komatsu there smiling with Esteban Ocon. He's ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, 11th place, chance of a point. He'll need some more drama to happen for that to be the case, but maybe Gasly's 10-second penalty will be there with only 10 laps to try and get that sorted. I have no idea how Ocon got ahead of Hulkenberg in there. Neither of them pitted for tyres when the safety car was out.
Lots to be resolved at the Monaco Grand Prix. It's a good time to check in with Ruth Busker.
With 10 laps to go, we have more to play for than we thought we might have. Now here, after lap 55, historically, the chance of safety car goes up. We have reliability issues starting to creep in. Things like the brakes, they're screaming on fire. And also, when it comes to strategy, both the drivers and the teams get more aggressive, making lunges. And then what we have here is a phenomenon. Yellows breed yellows, accidents breed accidents. The safety car compresses the field. And every restart, there's a chance of another incident. With 10 laps to go on a restart, if we get a standing start, it could all change once again, and we could have another safety car or even another red flag.
You see, well, this is just very, very poor performance by the FIA guys, the referees, let's call them. They don't even know if it's going to be a standing start or a rolling start yet. Like, sometimes they do the rolling start, so if you've got a really, really wet, dangerous track, let's call it, and if it's really wet and you just can, the visibility is like 0%, yeah, okay, you can understand when they'll do a rolling start, or rolling start, excuse me. But it's dry. There's no reason not to do a standing start here, and that's exactly what they should do. And otherwise, you're just handing the victory to Antonelli. Because a rolling start for Antonelli now would be working perfectly for Antonelli himself. Hamilton will be wishing, and what I think we're all going to wish, for a standing start, because you never know what can happen from a stand, right? But they should know. They should have a procedure in place already before the race has even started. You know, like, Jesus. Like, my dad was a clerk of the course for years in karting. He knew exactly what to do. He was really, really good. He was great at it. He was the best. He knew exactly what to do. That was karting level. This is meant to be the top pinnacle Formula 1, and they don't know if it's going to be a standing start or a rolling start yet. And even if they do, well, why don't we know? We should know. They should be informing us. So that tells you they don't know what to do here. And you just saw Russell, Pierre Gasly and Lewis Hamilton got speeding fines, right? Speeding fines. I keep saying speeding limit. They went over the speeding limit apparently in the pit lane. And even David Coulthard jumped in a while ago and he said there must be something with the sensors on the track, right? Now, you might think that sounds crazy, but it actually, I was even thinking that, and did I say that? I think before Coulthard said it, and then Coulthard said it. But these things can actually happen because Monaco is not a full-time track, right? They shut down the racing track for what? The full week anyway, probably 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, because it's a road track. It's a normal road that you drive in Monaco every day. So they're shipping in all the stuff from different places around the world, and then on Monday morning or Sunday night tonight, they'll be all shipped back out again. So, you know, you can understand, look, that things can happen, of course. It's just bizarre, man, that 3 different teams didn't hit the magic pit button. They all have a pit button on their steering wheel to say, right, when they just come up to the pits, hit the button, and it keeps the car at the exact speed that they should be. Just, like, literally just under this just under the speed lane limit, should I say, or the pit lane limit. So, I don't know, man. This is very bizarre, and something's screaming out at me, man. It's not even like they're trying to rig the race as we speak here, because Antonelli's in the lead. He's got everything sorted. But this sounds like the way they're acting right now is almost like they're up to something to try and fix the race. Call me crazy, call me bizarre, but I've seen some pretty fucked up shit in motor racing. The corruption is incredible. And in Formula 1, it ain't any difference. But it doesn't look like they're trying to fix the race for Antonelli. Alright, lads, anyway, back to it.
When we left Melbourne, that would be the case, but that is what we have seen transpire, and the incident involving Hadjar is under investigation for that safety car infringement about 20 minutes ago.
Have we any idea what that was? I don't. Came through the pits. Managed to get ahead of George, but then Hadjar becomes the latest one for the stewards to have a look at. So who is going to step up for a podium here? Of course, it depends what sort of penalty it is, because a 5-second penalty, Hadjar could probably absorb. You're going to have Russell, you're going to have Gasly there with penalties of their own to serve. So you are then looking at Piastri to try and get close. I don't know if Isaac knows that he's under investigation or not, but he is a cool customer right now.
Awaiting word from race control. The last update about Hadjar, but we stand by under the red flag conditions. Gives us a chance to hear from another one of our retirements. Winner of the Grand Prix here last year, didn't finish this. Lando Norris has been speaking to us downstairs.
Hey Lando, you just haven't had much luck this year from a reliability perspective. Just sum up how you're feeling right now after today.
Pretty good. I'm actually happy to be out of the race. Now, I mean, look, I'm fighting for a P8. Gasly has a penalty now. This was my chance to be there and get a few points. And you know, at this point of the year, we're not expecting a win or a podium, but you know, we need to maximize 6th, 7th, 5th little points along the way, and they all add up. And I'm working hard. The team are working hard, and we're just not getting rewarded. We're just being I guess unlucky. Some of it's our fault, some of it's failures, some of it's just being unlucky. So I don't know. We're doing the best we can. I'm doing the best I can, but when you just can't finish a race, I don't know what I should really expect.
Well, Lando Norris, understandably philosophical. He will look to the end of the year and trying to ratchet up wins. He had a superb drive in Miami. Pushed Antonelli all the way. Antonelli resisted the pressure. It's part of the 4 wins in a row that Antonelli's put together. The first driver ever to win his first Grand Prix in Formula 1 and follow it up with 3 more. Might be 4 more by the end of the day. So, penalties hanging over, potential penalty hanging over Isaac Hadjar, definite penalty given to George Russell of a drive-through. A restart order has been issued, but we are waiting for word from race control about when we will get going. And this is George Russell, this is Isaac Hadjar.
It's going to be a Hadjar.
What is the hold up? Why aren't they giving us any notifications here?
That is the rule. It's absolutely clear. That is the rule. Does anyone fancy standing on the podium at Monaco alongside Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton? Very, very.
Josh, 10 car lengths. Way more than 10 car lengths.
Copy. 10 car lengths, and if it is over 10 car lengths, that will be a penalty applied to Hadjar. Russell having to serve that penalty with Gasly with a penalty as well. And Oscar Piastri, an odd day, might be rewarded with a trophy for it.
One of those days, isn't it? You've got just excellence out front. Antonelli with the performance of his life at the moment. It's just everything's going right for him. Hamilton's doing absolutely solidly. He got away with the penalty that he picked up by virtue of his teammate coming in and stacking behind him and not being able to benefit from that 5 seconds. It's not looked super quick at any moment in the race, but he might have a chance to do something, although I've just seen he's also been noted for a safety car infringement. My word.
Max Verstappen trying to get his car off the line to contend with Kimi Antonelli. He went a few meters and retired. Valtteri Bottas called back by the Cadillac team for his 2nd retirement of the season. His first was in the opening Grand Prix of the year. Oliver Behrman called back as well. Pulling up at the pits. He retired on lap 30. Lando Norris had George Russell directly behind him. He reported an issue on the radio earlier on, and then another problem. Lance Stroll. Now watch the part of the track that he goes over. Yeah, scraped over the brake.
Lads, I've never seen anything like this, honestly. I've never seen anything like this in terms of the FIA stewards. This is shocking, what they're doing.
Looks to be marbles from the tyre is break up from the track, and that's why you could see it on the left front of Stroll, and you could hear it as he went wide. So he's got on that on the marbles, which is not rubber, it's little bits of asphalt. It's put Stroll off, and then Leclerc as well. So sweep up hopefully will do a bit of a job. 10 laps to go if we get this thing going again. Hamilton confirmed under investigation for a safety car infringement. One of those days, isn't it? Adrian Newey looking on, thinking, hang on, am I going to get a point here? Alonso's 14th, Colapinto's got a penalty coming.
The race will resume, and it will resume in 10 minutes' time. The signal given. They believe the 19th corner is raceable.
Finally, guys, we got the 10 minutes to go. So 10 minutes... and we're back, and we'll have 10 laps. Hopefully we'll get the 10 laps in 10 minutes time. So Antonelli's in the lead at the moment, Hamilton in 2nd, Hadjar in 3rd, Russell in 4th, Gasly in 5th. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, but we'll keep the commentary going, guys, for you.
6th position. The points
back in a
currently
jiff.
Rounded out by Liam Lawson, Arvid Lindblad, Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz.
laser focus once again. A man that's taken everything in his stride has got one more big test to bring home a Monaco Grand Prix win. It's rare they make them easy. Somehow, the pole sitter in Monaco doesn't usually get a straightforward run to win it. And Antonelli has got to get this thing off the line with Hamilton in second place now. That Ferrari has been a rocket ship off the line. The consistency of launch has been so good. Hamilton, without a Ferrari victory as well, will be so hungry to put the pressure on to Antonelli. Do you think Antonelli would think championship if Hamilton's halfway around the outside, or is he going to think Monaco win?
Let's have a look where that Lewis Hamilton is 10 car lengths back from Kimi Antonelli. Can't even see Kimi Antonelli. That's currently under investigation.
Right. Yeah. I think this rule gets flexed all the time. So Antonelli goes, accelerates with the safety car. Now it looks pretty dramatic there for Hamilton. It is a rule. It's there. George Russell certainly knows it. I think if you go through, you'd probably see that rule getting stretched a little bit at times. In the end now, it's up to the stewards to decide. We have those both looming over Hamilton and Hadjar, second and third. And certainly Lewis would have come round probably to back corner and thought, oh, that feels like a big gap now towards the race leader.
9 minutes to go until we restart the Monaco Grand Prix, round 6 of the season. And it is a consequential day where Kimi Antonelli looks to be adding another 25 points to his tally. Everyone else getting penalties, running into trouble. He has been serene out front, but it very much looks like he is going to hold all the cards on the restart, purely because everyone else behind him has upset race control.
Has there ever been a start or a restart where the guy on pole is just tailed by 4 drivers with penalties?
Very, very strange occurrence. And Arvid Lindblad in conversation with Alan Permain. You used to work with Alan Permain in your racing days in Formula One. He's not ambiguous with his instructions, is he?
No, I like it because he is the epitome of no nonsense. He will tell you you're rubbish if you're rubbish. He'll tell you got a chance if you got a chance. Some of his radio over the years has been iconic, and he's been there and done it for so long. He's doing a good job with Racing Bulls. I'd say he's great for young drivers for that reason. We'll tell them what they need to know, so long as you can cope with it. And he's making some good calls there with the team as well. So 7th and 8th.
Lewis Hamilton back on his way to the car, scooting back to P2.
Everything in Monaco is a bit tight, let alone Lewis coming through on his scooter. Walking to and from the paddock, the pit lane. Getting on your yacht, apparently.
Good save. No one heard. Okay, 7 minutes to go. Hamilton has made his way back to the car. Thank you to each and every one of you that stayed with us through the red flag. Kimi Antonelli has got a restart to deal with. Lewis Hamilton is currently under investigation for dropping too far back to Antonelli behind the safety car. The same thing applies to Isaac Hadjar. George Russell definitely has a drive-through penalty. Pierre Gasly definitely has a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
2 times 5-second penalties, isn't he?
Yes, he does. Correct.
So 10 for Gasly. Drive-through for Russell. TBC for Hadjar and Hamilton. Possibly nothing. Possibly a time penalty coming for them as well. I think if you're Kimi now, you just got to forget about all of that. You've done an exemplary weekend.
Jesus, lad. So now Hamilton has got a speed lane, safety car infringement now. Now he might be penalised again. What the hell is going on? I've never, ever seen such rookie amateur hour shit. I've seen it in karting. That was like fucking over 20 years ago. I've seen this, right? When, things were still not proper, polished professionalism, you know? I haven't even seen this. This is as bad as I've ever seen, I think, ever. I'm not being dramatic here, unless I can think of something here now in a minute, right? And maybe I will be wrong. You know, oh yeah, actually no, I did see worse. But this is unbelievable.
And effectively, that's the moment they'll really start their season.
Yeah. Spa. Lawrence Stroll told me on the grid. Adrian's basically confirming it. Waiting, they're not going to bring bits and bobs. They're going to bring the whole lot at the same time. Power unit and get this chassis working as well. There's nowhere to hide behind the power unit around Monaco. There's a lot more that's not going right with Aston Martin. Braking systems are so complex. Got the rear axle with the MG UK doing the braking, trying to recharge the energy into the battery. On the front, you've got your old school brakes, and somewhere in between you've got a brake balance shifting around, and if suddenly you feel like you've got a load of push because the the MG UK is doing something that you're not quite expecting, that's the result there that Lance was describing. And very, very complex cars, some a little bit easier than others, and obviously the Aston Martin right now seems the hardest of them all.
They've been racing these parts since 1929. It is a fabled race. It's seen some incredible days, and it has a safety car restart to come your way that could yet turn into a standing start if the race director deems that the right route to take. Colapinto's just been told that on the radio.
I mean, lads, to just add to it, we don't even know if it's a standing start yet, and there's about, what, 5 minutes to go, and we still don't fucking know? That's like, what's it like? Fuck, I don't even know. It's like, it's like having a penalty shootout maybe in football, and you've no idea, and they're all, like, the football players are about to line up, and yet you still don't know how many players are going to be taking shots. What the fuck, man?
Through Raskas and out of the final corner.
We've seen some incredible finishes for the Monaco Grand Prix through the years. It was once decided on the last lap at the final corner when Jack Brabham locked up, gifted the win to Jochen Rindt. We had the race in the early 80s where we had 5 drivers spin out or have spin out of contention or have mechanical problems. Kimi Antonelli does not want to add to that collection, and he finds himself ready to go through the final procedure. Let's very quickly hear from Charles Leclerc, who will not be taking part in this restart. He found the barriers at his home Grand Prix, and he went straight to the pen to speak to us.
Hey Charles, really have I seen you so upset? I can understand that you're hurt and angry right now. Just sum up your emotions.
Yeah, I mean, extremely disappointed, sad, angry, mixed off negative emotions. Yeah, I don't know how much I can go into the details, but I don't think. I mean, it's just not acceptable, and the issues I've faced with my brakes have been. It's not that it's difficult, it's that in this particular moment it's just impossible. I cannot do anything. The only thing I can do is not brake for the last.
Oscar, the FIA have said unlikely to go straight to the standing restart, could be some laps behind the safety car. They said they'll take a very dim view of people leaving more than 10 car length.
So I don't know if there was an issue there or if it's just the inconsistency I get, and the front delivered a lot more than what it should, so that's what happened.
Obviously, second successive weekend you've struggled with the brakes. How much hope can you have that there'll be a fix in time for Spain?
We have a fix. We have different configurations between cars, and I think we found a solution, so that is positive. I didn't really want to change this weekend, and for that maybe I am to blame in a way that I thought that on a track like this in Monaco it was good to start with brakes that I knew, but considering the issues I've dealt with and that there are no solutions on a track like this, not much to say.
Hard luck, Charles.
Well, for Charles Leclerc, the devastation of seeing a home podium slip away, and the weekend he committed his future to Ferrari, answers for the team to find for their driver. The FIA have reminded everyone to stay within 10 car lengths when we put a green light at the end of the pit lane, and we will trail out of the pit lane in a few moments' time with Kimi Antonelli ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Hadjar under the looming thread of investigation and a potential penalty for falling more than 10 car lengths back. George Russell, when we resume the race, will have to serve a drive-through penalty. Pierre Gasly has 2 5-second penalties for speeding in the pit lane. Oscar Piastri, Liam Lawson, Arvid Lindblad, Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz are the top 10. There has been the message that it is possible.
Lads, even I'm trying to keep up here with the Formula One. Even I still don't get this. Did I miss something? Did I just have a brain fart? Did they say it was a standing start, a rolling start? Because they just said that they have to stay 10 cars behind each other. Now maybe that's on the warm-up lap coming out of the pit lane. So, and then now they have a safety car. So it's looking like, lads, that it's going to be a rolling start. Why didn't we have this notification 10 minutes ago?
Those ahead of you or the safety car.
Hadjar again is leaving massive gaps.
George Russell once again on the radio, once again saying that Hadjar is leaving big gaps. They've all been warned about it as well. You cannot drop, according to the rule book, further back than 10 car lengths, otherwise you run the risk of a penalty. And as you say, Jody, it's not always evenly applied. Sometimes if it gets missed, you might get away with it. But once one person's put the appeal up, everyone gets scrutinised.
Are you kidding me? So they've got to stay between 10, they have to stay 10 car lengths behind, right? And if they go too far back, they get penalised. Like, do you realise how little you see out of a cockpit car? How the fuck can you judge properly 10 car lengths, first of all, right? You can have an idea, okay? You know, a rough idea. But then you get penalised if you go too far back. Like, I get it if some of the guy's holding up, you know, half a lap behind or a quarter lap behind.
2 or 3 corners, then suddenly you're like, oh, how did that gap get so big so quickly? And I think that's what you're seeing a little bit with some of the gaps.
Thanks for staying with us. We're about to enjoy a standing start. It gives an opportunity to so many, and the news has come through.
I think they have just...
Oh, the news has come through. We're getting a standing start. Okay, well, that's great to hear anyway, first of all. But why didn't we hear about this already? And they're just saying, oh, well, you know, they're literally winging this whole 10-car fucking thing, right? They literally just said, well, you know, like, if it looks like it's going too far behind, we'll give them a penalty. No, it's either 10 car lengths or it's not. Which is it, lads? Make your fucking minds up. And if you don't, and if it is roughly 10, why are you saying 10 car lengths behind?
Monaco Grand Prix.
That's huge. Gather your focus again. We wait for confirmation of Hadjar receiving the same. No further action, but wasn't exactly the same case, but the same crime between the two of them. He'll be hoping the same and not be thinking about that whatsoever as they come past our commentary position and get ready for another go at a sprint format in Monaco.
Well, there are sprint formats and there are sprint formats. Kimi Antonelli trying to get some tyre temperature in those soft Pirelli tyres.
So we'll do the race start and then we'll get 2 racing laps and then we will need to do a drive-through penalty.
George Russell being informed of the penalty. Kimi Antonelli lining up. He was miles clear. The Grand Prix was won, but it's never straightforward to win in Monaco. He has struggled off the line in 2026. He needs the best start of his season to get it right.
He is miles back in his grip box as well. don't know if he's going to creep forward or not, but he is a long way back, which gives Hamilton a bit more of a chance.
8 metres between Lewis Hamilton, a 3-time Monaco Grand Prix winner, and Kimi Antonelli. It is nearly time for the second start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Here come the lights. Antonelli versus Hamilton to win the Grand Prix, and Antonelli crawls off the line, but he's got what he needs, and he holds off Lewis Hamilton. Hadjar gets a poor getaway, he tumbles down, and through go the 2 drivers who need to serve the penalty past him. Russell and Gasly get by, Hadjar tumbles down, but there's still penalties to be served, and Russell is super slow.
Now, what's going on with George Russell? Managed to get up into 3rd place, but look how far back he is from everyone else, backing the field up incredibly. Has he got an issue?
George Russell has to serve a drive-through penalty. It's chaos behind. Look at this between the racing bulls.
This is bizarre.
Oh,
Russell.
into the wall. And damage for Sainz as Hülkenberg makes contact and goes up to 10th position. Lawson and Lindblad were close as well. Antonelli is 1.4 seconds clear on an extraordinary restart lap. And now we see Sainz tumble out of the points as a result of that contact.
Well, it all starts from George Russell on a go-slow mission, like he's on a protest on that first lap. Got up to 3rd place. He's got acceleration because he managed to get through the tunnel okay, but through the hairpin section, just fancied sitting in the middle of the road, backing the entire pack up. And then, of course, you get chances outside of the top 10 thinking, all right, it's now or never, let's go for it.
Kimi Antonelli with the start that he will treasure. Oh, that's pressure when you've all but won the Grand Prix and you have to go back to a standing start. He launched ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who wasn't able to get close. George Russell still has to serve that drive-through penalty. Gasly still has 10 seconds hanging over him.
I'm trying to work out what's going through George's head to drive like that on the first lap. He's obviously got to now bail out on the next lap to take his drive-through penalty.
We have seen him struggle with restarts earlier this year, notably in China.
Oh, come on, he was so slow. It can't be. It can't just be that. He's from a standing start. His teammate's gone. He's under pressure and dealing with it once again phenomenally well with Lewis Hamilton there.
What's the advantage?
I don't know if he's just trying to cause chaos further back and hope that there's another stoppage or a complete track blockage or something. I've never seen anything like it.
Risky, though, isn't it? Risky. Oh, it's very, very close between Hülkenberg, who is getting ahead of Alex Albon, but he did it off the road, and he will know that he needs to give it back. Different warm-up, different tyres, power deployment as well playing a part at the moment. Lawson did stay ahead of Lindblad, who got very close. Hülkenberg is 9th, but he's got to give the place back. Russell called to the pit lane.
Yeah, so that'll be Russell down and out of things.
And he tumbles down to make it even better for Kimi Antonelli.
It's going to put Perez up into 11th and Alonso in 12th, so there's a points chance for some of these minnows as well. There goes Russell out behind that lot.
And Hadjar has been noted for a red flag infringement now. Only noted. He's got a safety car infringement hanging over him. Antonelli and Hamilton are separated by 1.2 seconds. Gasly will have 10 seconds added to his race time when he crosses the line.
Hülkenberg has not given the place up. Now he does, and I think that's the sensible move. Albon stayed on the track. If Albon had cut through, he might have had a case, but...
For the love of God, will someone please correct me if I am wrong? Please tell me I'm actually hearing that wrong. There was a red flag infringement. They're not even saying who it is. Am I literally going fucking crazy here? There's a red flag infringement. What? No. It's either there's an infringement because something happened on track as you're racing. When there's a red flag out, the race is stopped. So how the fuck can you get an infringement when the race isn't going? I feel like Will Ferrell and Zoolander here. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Sniffing glue in the car park. I wasn't, I swear to God. What did I just miss?
Trying to pass Sainz, I don't think, but he just doesn't have the steering lock to do anything else. But he's trying to turn around and they just catch right front into left rear. It's a tough one. Here we go. On board with Hulk.
It's definitely Hulk.
Down the inside. Yeah, he's just He's on the lock stops trying to get the thing turned, but it's difficult. I mean, there's such a difficult corner to negotiate anyway.
Right, part two. Franco Colapinto trying to get by, and this is why he was facing the wrong way. 2 taps for Carlos Sainz.
Yeah, getting really beaten up on the restart. He's finished in the points every single Monaco Grand Prix he started. This one, he will not. Out of the race.
And he was on for that. He was on for that moment. Piastri all over the back of Hadjar. Hadjar's been cleared of the safety car infringement, but not the red flag infringement.
So Gasly has 10 seconds of penalty to serve. Where can he end up with this? Because right now he can serve that and still be 8th, but with every lap that Gasly backs up Piastri and Lawson's not going with them either, Gasly can make this better. So he has to go full tilt for the last 4 laps of this Grand Prix and see what he can produce. Something spectacular to get a great return still for Alpine. Might yet come towards him.
Kimi Antonelli about to extend his championship advantage. Lewis Hamilton about to rise.
And delay turn in 5 and 6.
Leave it to me. Plays Hadjar with no power. I'm sure that's what must have cost him off the line as well on the start there. Just not able to get anything as soon as the lights went out. No acceleration from him. Verstappen out right at the start, and Hadjar also has been fighting that since the word go. We don't have a clue what Red Bull are capable of in terms of race pace, because the only one in there has been nursing an issue.
Carlos Sainz, Charles Leclerc, Lance Stroll, Lando Norris, Oliver Behrman, Gabriel Bortoleto, and at the very start of the race, Max Verstappen. A race of attrition. A race heading towards Kimi Antonelli. Hamilton just has no pace to fight, but he will be looking at back-to-back podiums. Had to hear a whole season of you've not been on a Grand Prix podium for Ferrari. He's looking at his 3rd of the campaign and his 2nd in a row.
Well, you can't believe that's come up again, can you? Perez out of position again.
No way.
He's already had a drive-through for that at the start of the race.
This is...
It's a mad, mad day. The amount of penalties.
I don't really have anything to compare it to. I've never seen a Grand Prix with this many penalties, this many investigations. What a great example of how epic it is, rotating a Formula One car into Casino Square.
And all the technicalities as well, all the ones that we've seen. Absolutely bizarre. So, Hadjar is under investigation, but if you're Piastri, you cannot guarantee that that's going to be a penalty or not. We don't know what it's for, a red flag infringement of sorts. There's a podium on the line. Gasly's not escaping. Hadjar's got enough pace to stay within 3 seconds, which is comfortably the podium. So this is your podium fight with 2.5 laps to go. If Perez manages to get in the top 10 and gets pinged for being out of position on the start, I mean, wow, Cadillac will be devastated.
Our gallery have wound it back and had a look, and they say he's long in the box. They say it's slam dunk.
Oh, come on. You don't know what this Hadjar penalty is going to be. You don't know if anyone else is going to pick something up. If he gets done for that, wow.
Kimi Antonelli has put in the fastest lap of the race.
2.5 quicker than Hamilton on the lap.
Just unbelievable pace that the 19-year-old born in Bologna has access to. And no one has been able to live with him in this Grand Prix that we are on the penultimate lap of.
He's on another planet, isn't he? What a talent. And he's just got the confidence that we saw in Canada when he was just attack, attack, attack on George Russell the whole time. Didn't mind if he was forced out onto the grass, bouncing there and giving another go. He has got so much confidence. And behind all that, he has got an incredible amount of talent as well. Toto Wolff saw it all those years ago, fast-tracked him into Mercedes. He had to ride a bit of a choppy roller coaster last year, but when it goes right, my word, he is displaying all the hallmarks of a champion right now.
We are on board with Oscar Piastri. 5th place for him, staying tight to Hadjar, who will be investigated for a red flag infringement after the race. Gasly will have 10 seconds added to his race time to drop him down from what would be such a meaningful result for the driver who spent so much time at the back. But we're on the 78th and last lap of the Monaco Grand Prix. It has been a penalty fest. It has been a race of attrition, but it has been an absolute exhibition from Kimi Antonelli, who from a standing start with a few laps to go leads by 6.3 seconds.
Different world. So much could go wrong around this place, but you wouldn't know it looking at Kimi's weekend. It has been outstanding from start to finish. Pole yesterday, absorbed all of the pressure, and here he comes for the final corners.
Well, Giuseppe Farina won the first title in 1950. Ascari followed him soon after, but it's been a 73-year wait for Italy. Is this the day they begin to believe that it's coming home? Kimi Antonelli wins the Monaco Grand Prix. The teenager can't stop winning in Formula One. That's 5 in a row. And this one will mean everything.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We're packing it up for the day. So, that was the Monaco Grand Prix. The results. Turn off if you don't want to know if you've just joined on. The winner, Kimi Antonelli, 5 out of 5 race wins. That's an incredible record, I gotta admit. Hamilton coming in second, Hadjar in third, Piastri in fourth, Lawson in fifth, Lindblad in sixth, Gasly in seventh, Albon in eighth, Hülkenberg ninth, and Ocon rounding up the top 10. Verstappen had a technical issue on lap 1, so he wasn't able to obviously continue on after the first, and that has been probably the worst Grand Prix I've ever seen in my life in terms of amateur hour. That I cannot believe the FIA. We're going to go and talk about that in a lot more detail on my podcast, so that'll be out tomorrow. But wow, lads, your granny who's blind could have done better this weekend at making the calls than the FIA. It was insane. So guys, listen, we will be back next weekend. Let me just check the timetable now. We will be live streaming for next weekend for the Spanish Grand Prix. And the times we will be on. So we've got, let me see, Saturday we've got 11:30 practice 3. So we'll be on for 11:25. So 11:25 a.m. next Saturday for practice 3. And then we'll be online again on the same day, next Saturday, at 2:55. Qualifying starts at 3. And then, of course, the race on the Sunday, it'll be starting at 2. We'll be on 5 minutes beforehand. So, next Saturday, let me see, 11:25 a.m. We'll see you then. Thanks.